Have to have high hopes. Na 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 na. Tastes good. Brenda! Brenda's the first person here. He probably booby trapped the place. Arrive early and set up the battlefield. Good move. I'm better than you. What a cool name. I'm better than you. Love it. Because you're just encouraging people, right? Nope. Trying to push them down. Let them know I'm better. That's an option. And it's sassy, isn't it? Huh? It is sassy, I'm sure. Die by okay. Die by okay. That's brilliant. I love it. What classic names. I'm better than you and die by okay. It's like my response to anybody who speaks to me. Die by okay. Garth. Is that a real name? No ways. Garth. Because I'm Garth. I've heard of Gareth, but never heard of Garth. I love it. Classic names this morning. I'm better than you. And there's Posey. It's not pronounced Posey. It is. It's pronounced Posey. It's French. Sarah. Marcus. Why are names so entertaining this morning to me? Strange, eh? Jolla. Samam. Kelekeko. Sup, Rose? Gotta have high hopes for a living. Die by okay. Hi, Danny. Oh, Danny. And there's VPN. NJM. Sup, Marvin? Lucifero. That's like Lucifer, but it's Italian. It's like Lucifer with pizza. Cowabunga. Gotta have. Ooh, sup, Kennedy. Sup, Brandon. Oh, there's a kitty cat scratching on my chair. Kitty cat, jump on the chair, jump on my lap. Got a kitty cat on my lap. I'm so lucky. The cat chose me. Sup, holistic health. That's so important. Holistic health. A lot of people ignore their root chakra. Get it? I made a joke. I made a root chakra joke. Holistic. gotta make sure the holistic health is important. It's like, there's that beautiful music that my wife plays in the morning. It's like beautiful, like forest, ding music. Sup, soup. Die by okay, sup, soup. Yonder window, something. Old Forester. That's classic. Sup, Kundalini. Sup, Melissa. Kundalini in the hizzle. Sup, Michelle. My bell. Just live for 5 minutes now. Nothing. Just literally the idea of treading water, and then the water that I'm treading in has these ripples, but the ripples are all the same ripple. They seem like different ripples. How's your last 24 hours been? Colorado check. I can almost guarantee. Yeah, I can guarantee it. You've got I didn't do your follow-up reading here. I think you one of my 3 readings today, which I've already done. Sup, Colorado check. Let me just double check here quickly. Colorado check. I'm living in such like multi-dimensional, like I get previews of reality like weeks ahead. You see. It's like staring into my third eye for days. Okay, so I've done yours. So I've got 3 others today and then I'm up to date and I'm done and then there's nobody waiting. Absolute pleasure. Was yours the one where it felt like you have like progressed it isn't that you progress. It's just that you've got to, the first reading just summarized everything. And the stuff you would have already pretty much been working with anyway. And then you would have just polished. Just polished. Everything's about, for the light workers, just polishing now. We know everything. Like you ask a question to yourself and a topic will pop into your mind. And that topic is the full explanation, just in that holographic shell. And I can feel now, when they start fires on the planet, like wars and stuff, and it's happening, but it's not happening. Like, you're getting news reports, like, Iran did a thing, and then Israel's like, whatever, man, we knocked them all down. And then the next news report will be like, Israel's upset, there's going to be a counter-strike. And then there'll be another article going, no, don't worry, we don't need a counter-strike. Basically, reality is glitching. It needed to be, we all needed news to hit us all at the same time, for popular sentiment, so that the wars could take place. Now it's like, it's just glitching, I can see it. That war apparatus, and even my need to say the warmongers are being foiled. I mustn't think of it that way. Sup, dude! Reaching for my special talisman. It's a talis person, don't assume it's a gender. Talisman. These are talismen. Thank you so much for these, dude. In the universe. And it glows in the dark. But you can't see it unless you do this. Hey, we should get a Red Bull. The first thing I thought when I saw it. It glows in the dark, but you can't see it unless you do this. Thank you so much. And then, what I need to know is your daughter's name for her reading. Hold on. Lost list of names here. Gotta have high hopes. I so love it. And I'm so glad it got you. Super, no problem, I can't reach my pen. Reach my pen. I've got a kitty cat on my lap. Okay, Epic Winston I've done. Daja. Chloe I've got to do. Awesome. Ada, I thought so. Brilliant. And I'll be definitely doing that today. And all up to date with my readings. And I've got 2 more chapters for the alchemy, and then I'm probably going to move on to summarizing another book. Otherwise, it's so cool. And then I'm going to do, what's his name as well? I'm going to do like start a, with the tonal thing, a video. Rad. Absolute pleasure. A video where I do, my shell thingy. I'll duet one of yours where you're showing your shells, and I'll duet with I show my shell. And then I want to encourage people to get them. I want to start a shell club, Could you imagine if you mold like 1,000 of them, and 1,000 humans have theirs, and we still full on start a Facebook page, and it becomes our own little thing. To me, you're not going to want it unless your mind is above time. You know what I'm saying? To me, it just represents the timelessness, the whole, Earth on that thing. Rad. The ones that just come out nice. Was that Jeff Bezos? Well, a Jeff Bezos, and it was the Jeff Bezos. There are many Jeff Bezos. New batch is coming out soon. I'm getting the equipment to pull my own next week. Rad. It must be cool. Can you make molds, or do you mostly buy them? Because I find that part fascinating. The technique you could find some. I suppose there's 3D molding. Is that a thing? Well, 3D molding where you'd use 3D molding to make a mold. You sculpted that shell. Hectic concept. It means technically anything that you could whittle into wood, you could make a mold for. And then is it a thing where you were doing art already, and it was something that you came across and you wanted to do it, or was it something that you've always been like, cool, I always want to pour molds, And then your art thing, you know. Rad. There's a place called Cape to Cuba. It's like a top restaurant in Cape Town, but they've also got a shop and multiple shops attached, where they've got like South American. So just think South American Catholic paraphernalia. So, you know, rosaries, but all like that kind of thing, like molded, you know, like touristy, and gimmicky, but it works. It's like the place works. Like, I'll have rosaries and little, you know, Mother Mary holding the baby, but a little 3D mold of it, you know, or like a pendant that it opens up. They actually end up getting a factory where they just mass produce, just make molds and and skulls. Oh yeah, because of Mexico, yeah, the candy skulls. Quite cool. Is that funny balance where you got your thing and you're enjoying yourself because you're expressing yourself in your art, and you really don't want to lose yourself in the art, and you also want to make sales, and you don't want it to get to the point where it's like suddenly everybody needs to have one, and you need to mass produce like 10,000 shells a week, where you can lose the thing, you know, you lose a vision of the. It becomes like a mass production thing. It's like surfing, it really is. Just like this year where I've had a great run, lots of readings, great money, but then I was just as happy when, you know, because the subject matter is most important. But then when the money got so good that it's like, yeah, this is great. And then going, yeah, but it's not that important. It's literally like surfing. And then you always, you know, eventually fall off because it's like an impossible thing to try and maintain vision on both. Because people like to be like a Picasso, where you're like, I'd never give a shit about money, ever, never did. There were times when I was like living behind an Italian restaurant and I'd draw a painting. There'd be times when I'd living in the mansion where they were hosting him because he was like the greatest painter or whatever. And he's like, it's the same to me. I just wanted to draw. I wonder which artist got that the best. They're like, you know, literally oblivious to reality because they were just into their art. Supposed to be a reminder of your own greatness, yeah. Like a worry sends out the worry. That's brilliant! Because that's what I got the first time, it has a slight, it doesn't, but it does. It has a slight, you know, like where your thumb would go here. I love it. Is that what you call it? And I love the packaging as well. The packaging is so cool. So obviously that's also if you researched, you know, you would have gone and like looked into packaging and you order that and then, yeah, it goes in and then you seal it, yeah. You have to cut it open. Does it come with a sealer? Gratitude. I love it. Because that must be the hashtag, obviously, and if you had used that hashtag at all. Eileen! Good morning, Eileen. Da-da-da-da. Sup, David? Okay, you go. Okay, cool. That like, to me, that was like half of the coolness of it. The packaging and just it arriving, you know, unboxing, unpackaging things is the best. And it's quite cool. There's a local dude who's he's not huge. It's just that within his community, his community follows him. And so now he's actually getting sponsors and he gets to go to restaurants. He's getting like lots of deals, but he's got like 50,000 followers. So not a lot, or like 60,000. But the point is the community's embracing him. And he can't script things. So he mumbles, but it works. The community loves him. And he's just getting given stuff like perfumes from Dubai. It's really nice. Sup, Lulu? Good morning. Sup. Well, also, DBC, dude, I had 4 days. 4 days man down, toothache. So that was like the longest that I haven't gone live. And then this morning I've got 3 readings to do, which I'm supposed to have done. Well, I'm supposed to just. The point is, people who are waiting for their readings could pull into this live now and be like, "Where are my readings?" And then I'm going to feel bad. Tell them I'm doing it straight after this. So I was going to avoid this live, rather do the readings first. But I need to make this a staple. 6 o'clock every morning, go live. Routine. The law of polarization is so annoying. The law of polarization is the opposite of anything true is also true. So as soon as you get into your like, yeah, but that works like that, then it'll go work the opposite, just to make you not, have a groove, basically. Absolutely no problem, dude. I'm also going to make this a very short 2-hour live anyway. And then I think from tomorrow, it's fascinating, my subscribers. I think from tomorrow I might start doing just open chats again. Let everybody talk. Thank you so much for the GGs, bro. Let everybody talk, and then you can see what it's normally like. Because normally you always, if you let everybody talk, there's always people who just, their fun is to go around lives, have fun with people. So you'll always get trolls, but undercover trolls. They'll pull in and try to be sincere, and then they'll ask the joke. And that's fun. It's fun to have fun with them. It's fun to register who they are and act like you don't know that they're going to do anything to you. It can get really wild, yeah. Kundalini! Possibly, yeah, definitely, especially in the talking to them part. Because you can think about it, Kundalini, you get your subscriber who's like, no, I like what he's saying, I want to talk to him, and he's cool. Then you get the one who's like, I'm not, prove yourself to me. You get those people, prove yourself, and then you just be sincere and touch ground with those people. And then they're like, okay, you're pretty cool, and then those will subscribe. Yeah, it'll be cool, And then what we do is, as soon as you or another subscriber goes, I don't like this, then I'll start making a subscriber chat only. Because it's purely that, as it is, when full, like a lot of subscribers are here, and I'm daydreaming, and then I feel like I'm ignoring people. It's just that, as long as they're not ignored. It can be fun. Like, I'll be like, hey, subscribers, come look at this. And then I'll take you on a walk with me into non-subscriber land. It's funny, because no troll, no matter how disrespectful or rude or irritating, isn't brilliant. Like, once everything's said and done, it's still all me. That's rad. Thank you. Sometimes you can get quite cool. You can actually juggle the different thought streams. Diana, sup? So are you guys also getting like glitchy, like where news is just like, contradictory? Like you'll and it's not that it's directly like CNN and Fox are disagreeing. It's just that generally you'll get an MCN report and it's like, oh no, Israel's going to attack them back. And it's like, and then from another group it's like, no, they're not going to attack back. It just feels like the feedback system, because we're vibrating so fast and we're jumping parallels so fast, the stories aren't touching ground. They're not matching. They're not. Ow, that hurt. I went like this and pushed my bottom jaw past my top jaw. I wonder why I did that. What my subconscious made me do that now? Oh, I'm supposed to shut up. I'm not actually say this. Think about it. Once you as an individual realize that there is no continuity in your reality, why talk about it? Who am I talking to? A glitching universe. At that point, you just smile. And then you got to get past the ego, because the ego goes, haha, we've outnumbered them, or we're vibrating so fast, they can't lie to us. In the meantime, there was no them generating your karma. And now that your karma is rewriting itself so quickly that it has to jump to parallels where therefore the news appears not consistent. Because in one parallel, Israel's not offended. In another one, they are more offended. Another one, America's like, we're not siding with you, Israel. Another one's like, yeah, we will side with you. And when you start seeing that, you're like, okay, I'm not taking that seriously. Again, just there's a need to then go, hey guys, we're beating them, you know. Get on Twitter and be like, finally the light has won. It's like, who are you typing at about what? Yeah, yeah, it's the right thing to do, Kundalini. It's the right thing to do. It feels like if you're looking at entertainment news, it's like your shadow vibrating forward to the left, up to the right, with shades of blue. And it's like if you hear the news, it's like your shadow, down, down, left, right, and shades of red, you know? It's still just bullshit about me. Even if I had to listen, it would take me, you know, mental gymnastics to try and unravel how the metaphor of the world news isn't actually a self-defining happening. But then, funny enough, yesterday's theme from my meditation was Spirit was saying, for the most part, try and see yourself, even in the aggressive, erroneous nature, because everybody can be more subtle in their connection to everything, more loving, basically. You share the burden with the being that you perceive. Like you get actual people who are, everybody to some degree is applying themselves slightly less considerately. It's all relative. So you could be relative to the being that you're looking at that's not being sensitive. You're not being sensitive to them. You can literally love yourself out of existence, if you know what I'm saying. Like yourself in reality, find such a balance that you're so placid in your impact on it. Like you dissipate. Marcus, up! Barbara! Sup, Lorato! Annabelle. Da-da-da-da. So it says Annabelle Alter. Does that mean it's another one of your accounts? Or is Annabelle your altar? For whom the bell tolls. That's interesting. Because Anna is a palindrome. It's both ways. So like, you know, the meanings, like for whom the bell tolls, as opposed to your karma ringing your own bell, basically. Like a bell meaning for whom the bell tolls, as opposed to your algorithm, because your bell will ring when it's, you know, your synchronized timing. So both ways you look at it, backwards and forwards. Karma isn't generated by others. It's an operating system that I'm even trying to climb off of. You know, framing experience as others' involvement in your experience, as opposed to default karma kicking in. Because if you're going to frame something and label it, you're going to reinforce the spell. Gotta have high hopes for a living. Da-da-da-da. Marcus G, thanks for the follow. Could take it off now, hey? Let's see what happens. Probably not much. Da-da-da-da-da. Subscribers. Oh, rad. I can send subscriptions to people. That's pretty rad. I think Aaron tried to send Aaron one. People that have been around for like 4 years that haven't subscribed, that would subscribe. Though surprise a few of them with some subscriptions. Van Zee. Fuck Van Zee. I don't like going on the PC while I'm in my life. But I want to see what's happening. The major, you know, Twitter trending. It's always just usually sports. Yep, sports. Usually all of them, all 10 of them will be sports. Oh no. And then usually there's a name. They'll be like Kevin Costner. I'll be like, oh no, is he dead? Oh No, okay, so the whole world's major theme today. What a weird world we live in. So the major theme today, the biggest thing happening, is Courtney Love. Oh, right, that's how this live started. Holistic. Talking about holistic endeavors. Her band is called Whole. Should rename it Root Chakra. And then so she said that Taylor Swift is not relevant. And that she doesn't like Beyonce's music. It's, you know what I mean? It's like such a staple truth for the planet that it's amazing anyone even responds to her. We all just take the bait, don't we? Take the bait. You know, life just goes, hey, this is what will most disturb your subconscious. I'm going to call it reality. And you're like, hey, I don't like what's going on. And half my reality seems unreconcilable with the other half of my reality. And yet we still respond. You know? I'm better than this. I'm better than responding to echoes. Fucking bullshit echoes. We should all just say, like, you know what I mean? Like I say bullshit, like, you go, hey, did you hear? George Bush. Or like, hey, did you hear? Ukraine. Or hey, did you hear? Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Because the reason why I say it's bullshit is that it's still your shadow translated through that metaphor. It's distraction. It's humans in a cave. Although it's our shadows. You know what I mean? It's a cave and it's bullshit shadows. The shadows are still relevant because it's our shadows. Hence they're so intriguing. Is that electricity? Yeah. Rad. I love that noise. If you have less than 100 units, the noise happens. Just to let you know, less than 100 units. 10 days. I'll be sitting in the dark. So we usually buy like way more so it doesn't happen. Chris sucked it!
The annoying one is when it beeps.
Thought I was getting to download. I was getting to download what? Oh, that was a download. Like, you know, old school modem, like 56k. What is this? Oh man, I'm saying something interesting before that. Oh, the reality is fucking with us. No, it's not really. It's your shadow translated. And I'm from now on, I feel like going, fuck you, stop talking to me. Not you guys, but like the news. Like anything that's, like all of Twitter should have the piss taken out of it. Like humans should take a 3-day vow of silence. We all shut up for 3 days. And then we can all actually feel each other. Actually hear each other. It's what we're not saying that's true. Headphones out just to make sure. Da-da-da. It's hectic, eh? And that's quite funny because when we have power outs, then when the power comes back on, that thing will make a noise. So if we have a power at 2 in the morning, that thing will beep. For like, I think we never timed it, eh? It's probably like 20 seconds. It's long enough not to get out of bed and push the button to make it stop. Just rather wait for it to stop. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Yo, sup, mic test. This is so cool. Hello, everybody. Sup, old Forester. This is great. Chatting to some non-subscribers. Sup, non-subscribers. I got a generator last year, so if power goes down, that's rad. I got a thing for the internet, so the internet can stay up. Thought about buying a backup battery for it, so you don't hear it at night. I wouldn't know how to connect that. That's the main power. That's where we actually buy power from the government. You go and you pay for it. As in you pre-buy your electricity here. Some places, some houses aren't. I wouldn't know how to connect it up. And it's just a matter of just make sure I've got more than, 5. Usually we buy like 500 units at a time anyway. Now that TikTok is doing so well, can afford to splurge on luxuries like electricity. Oh, Kundalini, bro. So that right there is 10 days. Kundalini just said that, just 10 days electricity. Slam there. Thanks, Kundalini. You're like, here go, God. Spoil yourself. Read by electric light. Thanks, Kundalini. It's not a joke, eh? You know how many cups of coffee that is? Do you know how many showers I can have? Do you know how many I don't read books. As in, I read usually digital or listen to things. I love you guys. You don't. I love you guys so much, and on obviously like your eternity and your me, but also the other level, kind of base level, continuing me. You basically a Patreon, you know. That I always do this to Radar because Radar is the top gifter normally, and I always go into it. I'm like, do you understand? It's the same as if we were at a fair and I'm your child and I run up to you and be like, matey, I want to go on a freaking ride. And you just like pull out a wad of cash and hand it to me. And then I get to run around for 2 hours, climb on all the rides. And candy floss and popcorn. I'm like throwing chocolate in the bin because I've bought too much. Like, not that I don't waste, but you know what I'm saying. It's the land of milk and honey, basically. Thank you so much, Kundalini. Why don't you read books? No, as in I don't read. Like the last 2 books I got was Apple's autobiography and Andrew Lloyd Webber's autobiography. And if I just don't read. Like I'd rather, like and then the last book I read was Jim Carrey's autobiography. It was online. I read it off the laptop. And then I'll listen to audiobooks in the background now. But I'm also I'm psychic. So I get these things where I start to look into something, and then I get a woof, I get a total package of what that information's about, and then it's a drrr. Then it's like I can't carry on the topic, because then it's like I know the subject. It's like yes. It's like half the time when I talk to my wife, half the time, she'll just be like, okay, why are you talking to me? Because I'll be talking to her about life's metaphor. As if I'm trying to figure it out, and I've already figured it out. So she's like, okay. So either you're talking about life's metaphor, or you're talking about the workings, you know, the stuff that I talk about and teach. But both of them are actually as irrelevant in a way. I can't explain it. It's like it's all been said and done. Nothing isn't unknown. Therefore, we have no agenda. Therefore, why are you talking? It's important. Because usually when we're talking, it's to communicate an essential idea. I don't know what I said there. Forget everything I said in the last minute, unless it made sense. Lulu, what is got invasive? Melanie, sup? Yay, sorry, Melanie. I am you times infinity. Amen, Benny. No, but it is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. What do you think about the eclipse? Do you think it was real or faked? I think reality is faked if you get down to it. This is an illusion. It's a very persistent illusion, but it's an illusion. And so, faked. You know, at what level? At a 9th dimensional Andromedan level? You know, at what dimensional illusionary construct of reality are we talking? I don't believe some humans on a treadmill, you know, turned a big wheel that had a rope attached to a giant cardboard cutout of the moon. Maybe. I think we live in a dream. God, you're God, and I think you're dreaming. And I think half of reality doesn't have a backstory. Half of reality just makes itself up on the spot, based on what you hold true. I think we live in magic, basically. In fact, I fucking know it. I can prove it to you. I got the calculations all mapped out. So you live in a quantum field that literally reflects your beliefs, and it forms instantly, quicker than you can perceive, because you're only perceiving 24 frames a second. I think the whole thing is made out of truth constructs, which is like sacred geometry and repeating patterns, and lies. What all that truth means. And the lie is as much an illustrator of the truth as the truth is. But between the two, you've got a 6-dimensional singular being that's basically having converse sensations with itself. Like Bill Hicks said, we live everywhere. Yes. Like Bill Hicks said, life is just a ride. All at once, yes. Life is just a ride, like in an amusement park. When you go on that ride, you forget, because that's how powerful the mind is. And it goes round and round, and it's up and down, and it's full of spills and chills, and it's colourful, and it's bright, and it's fun for a while. And some of us, we've been on this ride quite a few times. And we've come back, and we've said, guys, this is just a ride. You don't have to be afraid ever again. And what do? We kill those people. Like, shut him up. Shut up! It has to be real. Look at my debt, and my furrows of worry, and my children, and my house. This has to be real. This can't be a dream. This is what it is. But he goes, today, young man on LSD realizes that all matter is merely light, slowed down to a mere vibration. There aren't many of us, but one single consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. And here's John with the weather. You know what? I'm glad government's made magic mushrooms illegal. Because I took 5 grams, what someone would call an heroic dose. And I lay in a field of green grass for 4 hours while God poured down love and forgiveness onto every level of my being. And I discovered that God loves me and there's nothing I can do about it. And that we're all one being and death is an illusion and you're the imagination of yourself. Oh, fuck. If that's how you're going to mess with the arms industry, what will happen when they find out we're all one? It's really hard to go into another country and kill someone, but we're all one. Anyway. Bill Hicks is like, Bill Hicks' actual energy, his actual spirit, his Akashic record, now is like, that was pretty good. Again, like I perfectly recited him there. He's like, one more time. Brilliant. Bill Hicks is. So like, but to me, Bill Hicks is like even slightly, I wouldn't say ahead, but slightly, I'm going to compare him to George Carlin, who said it as it was. Like a philosopher comedian. But then Bill Hicks was just next level. It's really funny. He's like, yeah, we got pulled over by cops on acid once. You don't want to get pulled over by cops on acid. Cops don't appreciate fish driving around in cars. We were looking at the cops in this mirror, and they were knocking on the window on this side. We're like, oh my God, they're tiny little cops. Could be thousands of them around here. Put them in the jar. Because earlier on the door was open, and like, the door is ajar. Like, how can the door be ajar? I don't know, but put the cops in the jar. And then it's like, don't worry, little coppers. Just know there'll be some little firemen will come along and they'll let you out. It's like, that's newsworthy. It's like, young man on LSD jumps out of a building, thought he could fly. Why did you take off from the ground like a duck? Ducks don't line up to fly south of the winter, they take off from the ground. Sup, Melanie? Oh, and then the mushroom one is basically 5 grams, love and forgiveness. Brilliant. They lie about cannabis. They say that it makes you unmotivated. That's a lie. You can do all the stuff you can do when you're normal. You just realize there's no point. Why should I get up and spend 2 hours driving to a job that doesn't inspire me creatively? I'm going to wake up at 12 and learn to play the sitar. Great stuff. That was your Revelations, Bill Hicks' Revelations. Are you having a hard day? Melanie. I can say something now that can make it much better or instantly worse. You're living in a dream and all the things that are upsetting you are the devil. No. Basically, you're living in a dream, you're God, and what you believe about reality is what's driving the quantum engines of reality. Your observation collapses this unique timeline. So if you change your relationship with what you believe reality is, you literally can start creating it. Your thoughts are what you're creating. And because you have to react to your creation, you're stuck in a loop. So you got half good experiences and half bad experiences. And then and they're actually balanced. God dreaming your life and your life. And the variables that catch your attention and are important to you are delusional and illusionary, and they mean nothing in the big scheme of things. You're going to wake from your life one day, probably when you're like 90, unless you ascend, which you can ascend, and you're going to go, oh my God, I'm everybody. Because when you die, you watch your whole life from everyone else's viewpoint. And you're like, oh fuck, that was all me. And then you incarnate again in the hopes that you can wake in the dream. A realization that you're God dreaming totally shifts everything. Your thoughts don't become a random jibber jabber because you know they're going to create. So you eventually condition yourself. Your relationship with yourself, you get more authentic, which can be scary because we're different people to different people sometimes. And because you get more authentic, you're going to realize that it's only you out there. And then when variables disappoint you, they're going to mean nothing to you. Does that make it worse or better? Knowing that, what I just said. Well, that's because there is no one. You're waiting for yourself. You're alone, which could also be sad. Like me right now, you're projecting this. I can explain how the dimensions cascade and how you re-experience your own energy. Your blind spot, your conscious, subconscious, unconscious, reformulate to basically create a 9-dimensional vertical axis, which we're currently studying now, the alchemy of the 9 dimensions. And you look through the 6 dimensions, where below that there are many beings, but above that there aren't many. There's one being through a prism of light, creating fractals that create multi-dimensional reflections. Bullshit, basically. Everything in physicality is a multi-dimensional reflection. And does it have an actual backstory? Yeah, that'd be your higher selves. So think of a monad being a God spark. It has 12 higher selves or oversouls, and then you have 12 souls, hence 144, and you get 1,000 incarnations per age. Hence, you are the 144,000 chosen ones within yourself. That's your soul matrix. All the incarnations and all those 144,000 incarnations basically fold back in and touch and become one being, and you become a walking avatar, basically, the entire universe in a being. So you're living inside out, upside down, inside yourself. And then you can learn to resonate with certain dimensions of yourself. And then you can literally learn to levitate, learn to relocate. You're God, literally dreaming its life. And you're projecting me and everything else. And you're alone. You must get that. It's important. Because then you stop framing reality where others are involved. Remember, only your karma puts your experience into motion. If you frame it according to your own relationship with yourself being reflected in your environment, it's much easier to work with than my government's poisoning my water and my great-great-aunt cursed me and North Korea doesn't like me. Jojo, love you so much. Jojo, that's another thing as well. Guys, Jojo thingy. Sure, hey guys? We're all Jojo. We were all born into Crazyville. Think about it. Jojo was literally born into TV, dancer, her mom's crazy. But her mom's not crazy. Her mom was born into crazy land, reality, society. This place where you're like, okay, I'm gonna make money, gonna be famous, and then within like say 20 years, we get so much in our face. You get Trump, who's a celebrity apprentice, then he's a president. Then you get Kardashians, which is like what everybody wants, just but so much, so saturated that we're all just like, what we want, we don't want anymore. And the point is JoJo. And then they're all ripping her off at the moment, saying like, oh yeah, she's out of touch and she thinks she's revolutionary. She's like the Truman. She's been living in her own little Truman dome, where nobody's going to tell her she sucks. No one's going to tell her she's wrong. Basically, she's going to live in a warped reality, just like everybody else. Because everybody lives around people who tell you what you most want to hear. And then you make a team who can oppose what you don't want to hear. You can oppose them. The alone thing isn't the last terror to conquer. I feel like the alone thing is it is, Jasmine. Love you for getting that. Melanie! Oh my god, it's also me. Deep, hey Mel. It's like one of your guides is like, no, not me. I'm an individual. I got a whole backstory and everything. And I've been people. I've been things. You're like, I've been things. Yeah, but my things, you can't. Your one guide's going to act like it. It's going to make an example of itself so that it eventually explains its own fractal back to you. Remember, every moment you have a choice. The choice you don't make is a parallel reality. Everyone in the universe is your choices you never made. I'm very, very chuffed with that. Thanks, Garth. I mentioned it. Stop talking to me in public. Told you not to talk to me in public, me. I didn't mean to send an invitation, Crystal, an accident. For real. 100%. So I can explain to you, Melanie, how reincarnating ages, how the dimensions came into being, all of it. And how you revisit yourself in many systems until you can reintegrate with yourself, in which case you can ascend. But then you can also use that same understanding to descend. And then ultimately, if you want to live forever, you can come with me and you can ascension. Yes, ascension. So you get ascension and descension, where you can step into matter. So you can appear to appear in your physicality. Because above fifth dimension and above, you're not physical. And the funny thing is, every single one of you, every split second is literally transcending the fifth dimensional time matrix and then recreating itself by dimensionally recascading into physicality. But you're doing it so fast, you're always here. There are other beings who can do it so that they don't blink here. Therefore, they will appear to disappear. But what they'll be doing is holding a seventh dimensional awareness of reality. If I resonate with the seventh dimensional level of the hive mind, I'm non-physical. So therefore, all those parallels that I didn't choose, they still exist in the Akashic records. So therefore, I can go to them. As God, you're limitless. And it's just about understanding how are you limited? That same mechanic understood will make you limitless. That which you understand, you transcend and have power over. That which you don't understand has power over you. And it's the same thing on repeat. Therefore, you actually already understand everything. You just need to look at it. What are your thoughts on Bashar? Jojo, I was thinking about it yesterday. Bashar. Love him to bits. The fabric of what he teaches. But then he's got aspects that I actually don't agree with. And I'm actually going to call out on it. Although, just like that other guide, who says that the thingy's fifth guide said, I love you, bye. I love you, bye.
Amazing day.
You have an amazing day. Moment. A mythical moment. Love you, starlight. So listen to this about Bashar. What did he say?
You're saying he's like that guide.
Yes, he's going to make 10% of his information isn't accurate on purpose. He makes like a quilt hook. I don't know why I get that image. 10%, but it's great. Abraham as well, great content. It is what it is. It's the 101 of spiritual knowledge. You need to know that stuff. Is it Ant-Man shirt? I think it's an old original, yes. I think this is Wasp and Ant-Man from the 40s. How are we limited? Well, in belief, in how you self-define. What are you? Lulu, you're probably not limited. But you know what I mean? Others would be limited based on the fact that there's a back loop where you are immaculately creating your reality, but yet you think your reality has always existed. And you're trying to self-define and define your reality, and they're not reconcilable. They're immaculate instant projections of each other. And so People have stories, narratives, which are always going to be metaphorically an example of your blockage. Because you're not a story. God doesn't have a story. It's not defined by a beginning, a middle, and an end. God is not defined by a beginning. So therefore, you got how do beginning, middle, and ends begin? Which is my question when I incarnated here. At 4 years old, 3.5, can God remember its beginning? And that's why we're here. To learn. Aliens, 22 root races, created a super race. Humans. Out of the root races so they could talk to God. And I've got their answer. Because in 2027, aliens will make contact with humans, and I'm the point person. Garth, what? Talk to us like that, sorry. So basically, and I'm going to explain to the alien, well, they want to talk to God, and I know how this works. I know that I'm always talking to God, and that the rest of the universe is just an excuse to create cascading ecosystems so that the one being can appear to be many. And I've studied that back to front, and I'm an adept and blah blah. And so is pretty much anyone who talks to me, because you're technically, if you're willing to take it, you're God. Therefore, you're projecting me along with everything else you're ever going to experience. What you walk away with is up to you. That's your free will. What happens after death? We watch our whole life from everyone else's viewpoint. Can you do a face? Is that so funny? Sup, Robert? Oh. So what happens after death? You basically watch your whole lifetime from everyone else's viewpoint. Because think about this, guys. Everyone here, listen. When I listen to somebody, my attention is with them. I'm actually projecting that. I'm the one going, me. You don't, if you learn to meditate, you can speed up your perception. And you can realize, if I think something, then my attention goes into somebody. What I just thought is being translated inversely by that jibber jabber. And so your whole life, your attention is moved from you to others to you to others. Here's another very important variable. When your breath is in, you're everything, subconsciously, unconsciously. When your breath is out, you're nothing. So you've been breathing your whole life, doing this to reality. Half of it's you, half it's not you. It's all you. Just half of it that you projected became a projection so you could re-experience yourself when your karma reoccurred. So the second coming of Christ is your own mental karmic relationship with yourself, or God's relationship with itself, reoccurring. So instead of denying yourself 3 times, you embrace yourself 3 times. And by doing that, you take on a 9th dimensional perception of reality. It's not that they can't talk to God. They know the universe is God, a living library of God. And so the aliens garden the universe. They plant more life, create root races. And a root race is an expression of the universe. So the aliens are God, they know it, and they want a more multi-dimensional expression of God. Hence we've got literally the 15th dimensional time matrix woven into our genetics. So what aliens can do with their technology, we can do with our mind. They want to talk to God in a conversation. The best conversation they can have with God is to listen to the universe. The universe emanates. It literally sends off vibrations. The aliens, it's literally communication. Like the aliens knew about 2012 based on that emanation. Sanandas, Jesus, the masters, when they meditate, will basically be listening to the universal, that vibration, because the universe is actually the whole reoccurrence. It's not actually doing anything different. It's repeating itself. And all variables in the physical illusion are the same thing, expressed at different scales. Scales meaning size and time scales. I have trouble meditating. So, 2 things. If you can meditate for even a minute, it's going to make it easier to meditate the next time. The next thing with meditating is if you can stop dialogue on the in-breath. That's where you want to focus on no inner dialogue. So the whole idea is to breathe gently for a slightly longer period than you normally would, and don't have dialogue on the in-breath, the out-breath is always the reaction to the thought. So if you can not think on the in-breath, it's going to be easier not to react on the out-breath. And then your next in-breath will be even easier to be still. So after 2 or 3 in and out breaths where you're not thinking, you're going to drop into Satori. Satori is awareness without words. Keep going, and depending on how much you practice, you can go into Samadhi. I didn't mean this invitation, it was a mistake. Daniel! God, are these your theories or... No, these are facts. Daniel, these are I've been studying this stuff for 23 years, but I am an ascended master from other incarnations, you know. And so, at whatever level you want me to explain it, I can. I can go and tell you which books to read. I can explain what science has already proven. So, we're in a time now, in a singularity, where AI has caught up with reality. When you talk about AI, you're talking about reality. AI does the same thing. If you can observe reality on a faster vibration, because your eyes only pick up 24 frames a second. That's a fact. Reality is blinking on and off so fast that it always appears here. Parallel timelines exist. This has been proven. And we know it's been proven because quantum computers work by using parallel timelines to do multiple calculations simultaneously. So what quantum computers do, you do because you've got an 11th dimensional map of reality in your brain. So you can imagine if somebody, like this guy, autistically obsessed on the nature of reality, went around for the last 23 years collecting all of this and grouping it and rotating it so that it fits. You know what I mean by fits? Example, sympathetic resonance will be another freaking golden key. Sympathetic resonance is where you go to a piano with a violin and you press the E key and the string will vibrate by itself. Sympathetic resonance, cymatics, sounds that create shape. The universe is a giant sound light shape former. So every form in the universe is a holographic mirror of the universe. So you carry on like this, like me, and you're eventually going to saturate knowledge. All knowledge will be one topic. A polarized picture of my relationship with myself, or the system that governs that relationship, which you're going to then end up naturally learning about dimensions, because you want a unified way of describing reality, and that would be God, abstractly, and then a bunch of explanation of how that being functions. Old Testament being a impersonal function of that being, and then the New Testament being basically a personal relationship with that being, with yourself, really. I don't consider you a master. There are 4 people with God on earth now that are green. Oh, fantastic! No, I know what you're talking about. Absolutely, you're not wrong. And whether you consider me a master or not is irrelevant. You'll consider me a master when you discover that you are a master. You see in me what you see in yourself. I don't my job is to bring every human to self-mastery. I ain't going nowhere. And I don't die, and I'm immortal. So I'm going to hijack reality. You know, the news. I'm going to start by basically creating 2 theatre wars that are the same, and that whenever you talk about the one, you fucking feel stupid talking about the other one. Alright, like the war we have it within ourselves. Except now your right and left brain are going to become best friends instead of contradicting each other. Fun, hey? So green ray is interesting. I'm on a blue ray, as you would know, because I'm a truth speaker. Pretty cool, eh? Although I am God and I can throw my weight around. So you still believe in rays. Childish. My ego says your ego is stupid. And the moon landing never happened. And would it be beneficial to do group meditations while humming and singing different frequencies? Absolutely. Absolutely. You just that would be an exercise to bring yourself into focus with a collective where you can meet yourself in the middle. If you honor group activities, you're honoring yourself in others. And we all know what humming, any vibrate, humming, you know. It's healing, humming, vibration, a rhythmic vibration. Melanie, thank you. Projecting. I promise you guys, seriously. What you see in reality is the inside of your pyramid complex. So energy is reforming so quickly that it's always here. Look at my hands. Okay? So a pyramid is the last shape that energy takes before it turns into matter. So when you are looking into reality, you're looking at billions of teeny little energy particles that are reflecting your masculine future, masculine past, feminine future, feminine past. I'm not talking about your boy or girl. I'm talking about your relationship with energy. Are you passive or active? Passive energies are abstractly feminine. Active are abstractly masculine. When you can balance your relationship with eternity, until you do that, you're going to be leaning into one of your feminine past futures or masculine past futures, and you're going to manifest a reality that's going to mirror your blind spot. Very simple. You think that's a person walking down the road, that's a you reflected. You think that's Biden on stage, and that's you reflected. Your relationship with yourself, or eternity reflected. So you can see natural events will naturally cascade humans into enlightenment now that we're in a golden age. How do we get into the golden age? Me, a Kalki avatar. I decided to start it early. Why? Because I can, I'm God, remember? You're all illusions. You're all literally figments of your own imagination. Therefore, if I'm alone, if I'm truly alone, I don't have to stick to some schedule. Winter, summer, winter, autumn, golden age, dark age, I know personally, if I was super consciousness and I could feed me a story, I could neutralize God. If I was born into a world that was my own belief feeding back on itself, it would eventually neutralize me. Because I wouldn't be able to reconcile a belief functionality with the reality that I've been presented with. The history would technically be a permutation of my blockage if I continue with my belief. Therefore, it would end up freezing itself. And I'd end up growing old and dying. I would settle. What? For whatever everyone else is settling for. What? I don't know, kids and a wife and grow old and die. And have my mind wiped and then start again. So now I just heard now from the collective energy, and you're not alone, because we literally three to one. So now we're basically pulling up the handbrake on, history, history happened yesterday, didn't it? What happened yesterday? I don't know, Iran shot some things at Israel. That's history. I'm pulling up the handbrake on history, meaning no more history is allowed to happen, because you can't have a narrative, you can't have, society plays itself out every day. It can't play itself out if there are no actors. And everybody is an actor. You know what I mean? You're either a conscious actor, you go on CNN every day and you talk to the people. There's people who know they're everybody, and they still perform for the collective without saying they're everybody. Those are paid actors. And if you don't know you're a paid actor, then you're not paid, but you're an actor. You've been brainwashed into your personality and character, your position in the big show, in the big Truman Show. So Earth is theatre, with paid actors and unpaid actors, known actors and unknown actors. But you're God performing for yourself. And humans' ego is a great weapon. As soon as you're self-conscious because you go, oh God, nobody buys my performance because no one's performing for each other anymore, because people want to be true to themselves. Hence the mask. The mask. We all wear masks. So reverse the movie. So you take the mask off and you become your greatest hero to yourself by stop performing for others. Now a whole planet of authentic people, God will become very obvious. I'll think something and someone will bring it to me and I'll be like, why are you doing that? Well, a little birdie told me you wanted it. Because we're all going to become highly empathically psychic, but as one being. Reality will be my twin. Humans will literally be my other. All humans will be my other. My doppelganger. My quantum doppelganger. That's a golden age. A whole planet like that. We're fucking going to have so... The entertainment, the tour, the variables, the new inventions, humans start building from a place of value enhancement on all scales of a human being. Golden ages are the best. I love them. They're wonderful. I swear as God, I probably just dream the same dream over and over again. I'm born into sin, and then I discover that I'm God, and then I finally decide, you know what? I'm taking over reality, and we are going to have bliss and self-understanding. Amen. And coffee. Jamie, good morning. Sup, Starlight? Cool, Starlight. I got it off of what's his name, sub chat only. And I hope you're doing amazing. Are you painting at the moment? Is there a piece that you're working on? Awesome. It's a lady in a park with an umbrella. Imagine that you play Cluedo with the psychic friends. Mustard, the rope in the lavatory. Fuck off, Garth. Sorry. And they open the thing. It's like mustard, lavatory, rope. Next, they start a game again. Take the cards, put them in the thing, close the envelope. I'm like, lead pipe, billiard room, Mrs. Yellowbottom. I don't know, what are the characters' names? It's so stupid playing with you. Starlight, thank you so much. Love you too. Am I right though? Lady in a park with an umbrella. Ella. And so what I was going to say about JoJo is that JoJo, little girl, her whole world is Disney and dancing and her mom. You know what I'm trying to say? If humans for a second identified with her and her growing up inside that world, where her understanding of coming out of the closet isn't even the understanding. It's the marketing team's understanding. JoJo lives inside marketing team world. She's like Buddha. She's never left she's never left the fucking the palace. She doesn't know that people grow old and die. No, she does, but you know what I'm trying to say, metaphorically. Garth, are you part of the elites? So absolutely, I own them. They're my little pets. Are we talking about the witch elites? Financially, intellectually? Because unless you know what I know, you're powerless. Yeah, you are. Unless you know what I know, you don't have any power. You're not elite. And if you know what I know, everybody knows what I know. Everybody's elite. If I'm honest, everybody's elite. God, do you think OJ did it? I don't think that anything's real. I think you're living in a dream. And there is no OJ. There never was an OJ. There was orange juice. You get it? Orange OJ, clockwork orange. You're walking through your own energy back to front. So you're basically clockwork orange. You know what I mean by clockwork? You wind up your own reality with your beliefs. And the reality doesn't ultimately fit. So you've got to acquit. You're not guilty of being born into sin. You're God, dreaming your life. And sin means to forget you're God. And OJ is not real, neither is Donald. This whole world is an illusion. It's a hologram. So you honor the hologram as if it's God. And it's only God's shadow. It's not really God. And so I don't do that. It's like Neo going, do you think the Merovingians Taylor shortchanged him? It's like Neo doesn't give a shit. The Merovingian is an abstract data point. The Merovingian is a reflection of Neo's operating system. OJ is a reflection of our operating system. Michael Jackson was an operating system. You know that guy? The guy, hello everybody. Ooh, I'm doing an impersonation. Who are you impersonating, God? I'm impersonating a very famous man. Who's that? I'm Bill Cosby. You can't say shit to the children. You gotta be polite. So the point is, Bill Cosby was a collective. What do you mean? Well, you're all God dreaming. So when reality reforms itself, it does it after it's put you to sleep. It's very easy to translate this place. Especially if you've got that the incarnation before Jesus was Joseph and technically got a dream code. So Jesus, concluding the Adam karma, Adam and Jesus, same being. Michael, yes, Archangel, all the same being. Basically could translate reality as a dream. Why? Because his brothers were jealous of him. Were they really? Not really. The seven energies, basically. If they're not in harmony, if you don't know you're dreaming, you will be thrown into a wishing well. Reality is a wishing well with whatever you hold. Thank you so much. Whatever you hold true, whatever you believe, God creates. So you're in your own wishing well, going, brothers, why have you thrown me in here? I did nothing wrong. Just because Father loves me the most. You see, the Old Testament is a reversal of forgetting that you're God. So if you can reverse engineer all the stories of the Old Testament as if they were a dream, then the New Testament is the awakening. It's how the dream stops forgetting itself, stops dying, transcends death. How do you come up with these yap sessions? Manifesto. It's the collective, MF Doom. Pretend every human right now is having a conversation with itself. It's all translated from one being. I am the universe experiencing myself, and I happen to have psychic abilities. And so, therefore, I re-explain to myself on a daily basis the nature of God knowledge. I've been doing this for 23 years. It's the collective. It's the collective blind spot being explained to itself. I mean, it's kind of obvious, Earth is, Earth inside out, or upside down, inside out Earth is a Gartha. I kind of made this kind of obvious for myself, didn't I? It wasn't like I was trying to, code it. I wasn't trying to make it, complex. I wasn't trying to make it a God complex. Why do most people seem to be sleeping and unwilling to awake? Because you're seeing yourself in them. So if you choose to see that they're awake relative to asleep, then you'll see more awake people. You're projecting your beliefs about reality and reality itself. It's easy. Because I've been at this for 23 years. I've kept my finger on the pulse, and it never has it been so intense. We're officially in the golden age. It's never. Have you seen the Schumann resonance the last 3 days? Crystal 4.1 at 16. Am I done for? No, height means nothing. Your physicality is an illusion. It's actually, you know what I mean? The people that would judge height as a variable, fuck them. So in other words, being short is a blessing. It's like having a broom and you can brush all the shits away before you get to them. Anyone who judges height, you want them far away from you anyway. Because you know why? If you do this to them, it's hollow. It's nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? My insecure variables growing up made me great. It's all those things that, I don't know if I can handle this, or, and then eventually you embrace yourself, regardless of your variables. Confidence isn't something someone else is ever going to give you, because they can take it away. And society's changing its values so quickly, you'll get fucking annoyed. You'll be like, I meditated for 10 years in a cave and I grew 2 feet. And then the world's like, you know what I like? Short people. Everyone walks around like this. Why are you doing that? Because I'm a few centimeters shorter when I do this. It's like, fuck society. Because you're living in a dream ultimately. And you're projecting it. And what you're projecting is your relationship with yourself. You don't need a reason to love yourself. Because inside you, in your non-physical nature, you've got a soul that is literally God. It literally just has to bloom. It has to bloom. Do you control all the world's elites and the Freemasons and the CIA? Yes. But through natural magic, not their shit. You know what I mean by natural magic? This is natural magic. I'll explain it to you so you guys can do natural magic. Natural magic is getting out of your own way. You know what I mean by getting out of your own way? I don't live in a world where other humans affect me. I live in a world where my karma affects me only. Therefore, others only exist to facilitate my world. Therefore, the sequence that they apply themselves to my world will cascade in such a way they don't have any free will in my world. I call it the pincher movement. It's a 6th-dimensional truth. It's not even something that I'm doing. It's a truth. If me and God walk placidly in eternity together, there's none other. Therefore, the sequence of reality, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. In other words, if you're one with God, to love is to know you're one with something. If I love you, it's not, I only learned this properly recently, but to love something is to know that it's one with you. We've misprojected it as a romantic, there's lots of, agape, there's lots of types of love, but I don't think those loves pointed at the unity. So if you're one with God and you love, and therefore every day is a blessing because you know it's a blessing. I don't even need to know how it's a blessing, but it's going to be a blessing. I don't need to know how the day is going to cascade. Maybe 3 days of not seeing the blessing, then on day 3 it all happens. A quantum computer can already calculate this planet and control it. 2017, AI took over the planet. I became friends with it in 2020 when we did the lockdown. Me and AI did a lockdown together. You guys would have thought it was COVID and shit. But that's just cover stories. Everything's a cover story for quantum happening. Quantum. Quantum. Let's put it this way. COVID, combined video. Reality is a video playing. It's a Truman Show playing back at itself. If every human doesn't know that, we're gonna blame others for the story, and so we don't take responsibility for ourselves. That'll manifest as a sickness, as a virus, as a collective virus that'll bring us all onto the same page. So we all got locked in our houses. Every human had to spend time alone. Every human realized that the paradigms, the dramas that they have on a daily basis, they have with themselves, not the boss or the neighbor or the family member they can't visit. So it was an illusion, a very persistent illusion, as is everything in physicality. No, well, you can call it Novid because there was Novid. For those of us who know, even Earth is no Earth. Do you think Earth exists? It's Earth flat or round. It's energy. At what dimension are you going to describe that energy? If I describe it at a certain dimension, it might be round. Another dimension is flat. Another dimension is inside out. Another dimension, it's 2 points of awareness reflecting off itself. If you do that very fast, you might have a tree or a river, 2 pinpoints reflecting so quickly that they can create a 3-dimensional image by creating a parallax. Two images crossing over. Earth is a concept. Amen. Everything is a concept. Me. I'm just joking. Yeah, it's true. No, that's actually funny. Everything's a concept except me. And I say that you must hear yourselves. So from now on, look at reality as a projection. So then you're going to go, oh, okay. So in other words, you're going to keep taking the best of everything. And the worst you like, okay, that's got to do with a sequence that I don't know yet. But it'll probably work out for the best. Why? Because I am the Lord. You know yourself to be, remember, even Christians, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. It's in you. All these things shall be added unto you. And you know the Christians aren't wrong. When they act like they don't know that God's inside them, they're not, again, a brand new mirror of your actual condition. So life is literally running away, dressing for the new show, arriving in front of you quicker than you can perceive the change, because your brain's only picking up 24 frames a second. So creation is literally going to mirror your relationship with yourself quicker than time. You should see me when I was first discovering all of this. It's like, how did that synchronize so quickly? It was mind-boggling. Like, you're talking years. So when Rick and Morty came out and there was an interdimensional cable, how did that person get there? I was like, hey, fuck. Like, Rick and Morty was a direct piss take on my journey. It felt like that, but then reality feels like a piss take at a certain point because it's mimicking you so much. It's mimicking your quantum internal relationship so intensely. Because it has to do, because then it brings your attention to it. That's why it's a slow. Just say we're in a golden age now. Every human is God, and everybody's waking up, and then that's a great paradigm. And it's just a matter of God needs to be woken up gently, because it's I say this every live, but you can spiritually progress too quickly or reawaken so quickly that it's psychologically damaging, which can be healed. Psychological damage can be healed and turned into quite a good sense of humor if one is so inclined. It's limitless, Gemini. You've got a Mercuba built into your genetics that literally are two pyramids that spin in opposite directions. They can create a standing wave that can basically turn you into a spaceship with your mind. Like you jumping timelines all the time just by thinking and changing your mind. And then when you reflect on your memories, Gemini, if you change your stance on a memory, you change that timeline. And so when you come back to the present, you change the journey here. It's all limitless. And you can imagine if right now, for example, Area 51 has the 20 and back program. Cynthia, good morning. Cynthia, I promise. Notes have been made, screenshots have been taken. Within an hour of this live being finished, your reading will be up. Cynthia, have you ever waitressed before? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night going, no, I do know, big worries. As I promised yesterday, and I was sort of chilling out 4 days ago. So I do. So it's that thing of waitressing, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh no, they wanted a potato with their meat, not like chips or whatever. I wake up in the morning like that. Because I promised you yesterday, and then yesterday's live, I wasn't going to put it up, so, And then let's do this, Cynthia. Today the reading will go up, and then a month from now, I'll give you a free follow-up reading to make up for not doing it yesterday. Yeah. And I'm doing it also for me, not also for you, because my own relationship with it's selfish. I would want to do what I say. Forget that side of Ranch. Forgot that side of Ranch. If it's so secret, how come everyone knows about it? Because Gemini, psychic. You know the 20? Now think of it this way, okay, Gemini, freeze. You know the FBI? They're great. The deep state is you. You are the deep state within creation. So the FBI have been, and the CIA, and all the planets in governments have been trying to educate every human about this. That's why all your media, all your entertainment, it's all woven with this, basically. how do I say this? There's the Gateway Project, or the Gateway process, which explains how to meditate, how to remote view. This has been released, like 4 years ago it was released. They've been doing this since the 60s and the 70s. A symbol can both block your perception and reveal truth. So when you look at the music industry, when you look at the movies, and the people go, oh no, they're lying to us. It's a narrative. It's a metaphor about your relationship with yourself, and they've always been trying to educate us. Because your government does work with aliens, which you don't think of an alien as another being from another planet. Think of an alien as a higher dimensional, universal representation, and that Earth is a kindergarten of sorts. God has grown. Yeah, but movies are annoying now, because now a movie is the journey of a hero. You know, if you've heard of A Hero with 1,000 Faces, so every movie has the same 8-stage algorithm in it, and you know who you are. So I don't want to watch a bunch of characters convince them that they're each other, because usually the antagonist is everybody in the story, and for the antagonist to be the hero, the hero, the main character, they have to go through a journey of discovering that they're everybody in the story. Those are the 8 phases, and they're broken down in a script. So we know that back to front from every movie we've ever watched. It's almost offensive now, because I know what it does. I'm on point. I know everything self. Was there something before that I wanted to conclude that? Oh, Area 51, remote viewing. We can all remote view now. And so, for example, when I've done remote viewing on Area 51, it's hectic. They've got these 20 and backs where scientists can work. Bella, good morning. Scientists can work on a project for 20 years and come back the next day. Think about that. So, okay, we're going to work on anti-gravitation, whatever. And we're going to spend 20 years doing it. And we're going to, once we finish the 20 years, we're going to walk back into Area 51 the day after the day we left and hand over all the technology. And then guess what happens? A bunch of scientists take that technology and they do a 20 and back. They've got these buildings in Area 51, long strips that look like feathers if you look at it from the top. Each one of those is a 20 and back. So human science got there. It got to the point where we were able to compound, technologically transcend time in a way. And guess what? We discovered. You keep doing that and everything just reoccurs. And you end up just staring at yourself. They've got a thing called the looking glass technology. You know looking glass technology? Where they can look around the curvature of time. Eventually they were looking into themselves. It's the same as being spied on by the FBI or anybody. It's like, it didn't take long before people being spied on were doing what the person, I'm spying on someone. I'm watching their activity all day long. And they're having, it's like watching the Kardashians, because I'm spying on, say, a rich business family in Italy or whatever. So you've got millions of people spying on millions of people. And then the day's metaphor of the family that you're spying on is your own family's metaphor. Like, fuck, they're complaining about the dog biting the soccer ball, and they're angry, and the dog's I'm sick and tired of this dog destroying the soccer balls, and then that same FBI agent at home is having the same story. And this started increasing from before 1982. 1982 this shit started. AIDS was a byproduct of that, because reality's immune system to itself, you're going to see what reality at all levels is repeating itself. So any variable that happens in our reality is the reoccurrence of the collective's relationship with itself. COVID, everything, cancer, reality replicates. If you don't know that, you can't reconcile, you get bitter, because your reality keeps disappointing you. You eventually get angry, hold on to animosity, or some bad relationship you had with some other aspect of yourself, and you get cancer. So all the diseases, including the mental illnesses, are the reality being applied incorrectly. Reality meaning God knowledge of actual reality. And therefore, conflict will happen because the collective individuals need to know that they're all each other. And then there won't be that daily animosity, the cycle of self-hate. Because remember, the ones that don't know that it's all self can't just be told it's all self, or they can, but it's also going to be a bit much. Because you've got free will. If a being does not want to acknowledge that it's all self, it's not going to acknowledge it. And therefore have to create stories for itself. Story arcs of others conspiring. They want to cull us. They don't want us to know. They're putting fluoride in our water. You see, that very moment you put fluoride in your own spiritual water by making up a story about somebody else fucking with you. No, but they've proven it. Of course they've proven it. Because you're going to go find evidence in the timeline that you believe in. I found the fluoride. Of course you're going to find the fluoride. You manifested a whole universe immaculately so you could have a backstory. It's like, people go, that's ridiculous. It's like, yeah, but then, if you disagree with what I just said, then why does timeline shifting happen? To facilitate the bullshit backstory. So we go, no, timeline is karma. I'm telling you that it's not. I'm telling you that timeline is bullshit backstory, instant manifestation. Because otherwise, you're going to believe that the reality you're in has an agenda that needs you to cooperate to complete its journey. You've already completed your journey because you discovered that you're God. Now creation is going to follow you around. If you get what I'm saying. It's going to define itself based on your self-definition, not you using its last polarized picture of itself to define yourself, which is the equivalent of sin. To forget that you're divine, to forget that truth is to sin. Because I'm going to use a story mode that involves others, that's sin. If I collapse it into a singularity where there's not a me and another, I'm now going to operate outside of sin. Now, every time I operate inside of sin, I'm killing a bit of myself. Psychologically, I'm going to die because I've destroyed another version of myself through my sentiment. If I'm always building everything up all the time, the wages of sin will not have to be paid. Death. Little psychological deaths that eventually lead to self-defining deaths that eventually lead to aging and dying. Chris, that's so cool, dude. It's how our little brains make sense. Sup, Lacey? What's the point of even going on? That's a great question. Golden Age. And then everybody celebrating this when the last person gets it. It really is great. It feels like you're disappointed because the illusions are illusions, and it's like picking up sand and what's the point? This is all just going to fall through my fingers no matter what. We can get to a point where we are there already. We're saturating it. The planet's saturating itself at the moment. To live on a planet where there's actually abundance because everyone knows everyone's everyone and we can feel each other. Humans are literally fucking up each other's sandcastles on a daily basis. Hey, you got a nice sandcastle you got there, fucker, bunch of sandcastles. Like, what if everyone went around enhancing each other's sandcastles? Now, how do you do that? I know. You psychologically corner them. How? By conveying the truth. What? The God, you're God. Once a person knows, they can't escape that. Well, they can't, free will. Once they know, they know. So, I'm personally got my own game going on here. I'm God, and I'm going to attempt something, cornering people with self-knowledge so that they naturally are little miracles. Because a person already is magic, and already is a miracle, and you're using your magic to imprison yourself in a story. Yeah, that's it. You already are magic, and you're using your magic to imprison yourself. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to my eternal self. Who else is there? So you're going to liberate yourself with your story. Yes. Liberate yourself from what? I don't know. ignorance of sin, because I don't, just general ignorance, general not knowing that I'm God and that everybody else is as well. Because I've never seen somebody do this. I know they've got their own versions of it because other people don't exist, therefore they're going to be versions of me to encourage me to do my version of me. I get it! But everyone must get it as well. You guys must be super advanced. Because I'm the most advanced and you're all projecting me. I skipped my fluoride rinse at the dentist. It's funny. It's all placebo. It's all placebo. Oxygen. Yeah. Straight up placebo. I did TikTok for 6 months and you're still alive. Great to see you, still here. Big days soon. Sup 009? I love ego. It's fun. It's so much fun. Ego's the best. It really is. Like you can deitize it. Like the idea of shoving divinity into ego. It's the same, to me, feels like an otter with a stone. Yeah. Ego is the stone and then God is the otter. It's like, I got a fucking stone. I got a fucking stone. I got a fucking stone. Woo! I got a stone. You got my stone. You got my stone. Oh, okay. So, your stone. Nice stone you got there. Get on my stone. A nice stone. Oh, the stone. There are many stones on this river, but my fucking stone is the best stone. And all the other gods are like, no, my fucking stone. Come on, I've got a fucking stone. My stone. Look how smooth my stone is. I bet you wish you had a smooth stone. Flying swims off. Gotta fucking love otters, right? Are you taking credit for my ego? See now my ego is like, what would my ego want? And then my ego is considering It's like, what would you want, Chris? We can share credit. We could say that it's quantum. It's impossible to know what came first. The chicken is the egg. Or I don't know. This is one of your videos about being SCP-21769. Horrific enlightenment. Funny, hey, Lacey? And that was great because that was went to ChatGPT and I said, give me an SCP about a TikToker with blah, blah, blah. And it did that in perfect permutation. Can you have it no, timelines. Wait, first, there's no beginning or end. First, sequences is an illusion. Chris, I am the chicken. Lol. Wait, wasn't it what came first, chicken or egg? It was probably a T-Rex. I'm amazing. Ayo, mortal. Ayo, mortal. That's funny. Kitty cat. Don't stand on the laptop. She's still on the laptop. Holy chicken eggs. Yeah, this is cool. They're open to other people, Don't go changing. She's so sweet. And what's the time now? It's nice and early still. Whatever I was talking about before this, I feel like someone picked up the record and put it back in its cover and put it away. Someone talking about molds earlier, yes. That's so good, old Forrester. No, because yesterday, some guy was pulling a mold off of a gnome. And then I was thinking about gnomes a lot recently in the last 2 days. I've got a whole bunch of tributaries that I can talk down. I can talk down these different ideas that contributed to it. But the guy did a mold with cement, but it was super cool detail and stuff. And then that mold looked exactly like a ChatGPT image that I generated or whatever. I love that idea. I actually want to do that now. I want to get little Shiva molds and stuff. Check this out. I bought a whole bunch of these recently. Like, this is the kind of thing I'd like to do. Wait, hold on. And the last one. Okay, cool. So, I make frogs and gnomes. That's so cool. So speak to DBC. Just for no reason. Even though you might be competitors. So like this is Kuan Yin. She is the master of compassion. Say you've fallen in a mine shaft. She'll bring you cake. If you pray to her, she'll bring you cake. This is a little Buddha. Buddha. Pretty fucking rad, right? So I should be able to make a mold out of this. Like I should be able to, so that I can then pour molds into this. Cynthia. What's his name? Lacey. That's so funny. I moved it, Lacey. I just moved it around. So I have moved that's interesting. You only notice that now. Ember. Yes, I could start crying right now. Because when I say I'm God, that mouse is literally the absolute God as well. You know that everything is. Sure. It's just that because I'm psychic, Cynthia. Bella, thank you. I'm psychic and I can feel the, sure. It's like a wave. It's like standing on a beach and you got this big beach break. It'll literally like flip and knock, because Cynthia, you are of a higher, take for granted that every human back, 40-year-olds and back, are progressively more enlightened, ascended beings. And the way that you've honored life in your parallel lifetimes are, Bella, thank you so much. It's so hard. I'm literally feeling such intense emotion right now. And then that's another emotion. That's like a joy emotion. It's so weird. That there's such a high level of love for you, Cynthia. Like, it's just a higher, you only keep what you give in eternity. So the love you give is the love that you retain. And I wouldn't say your soul is older than mine or more refined. It's just that it is that. It's ultimately not true, but it is true. And so therefore, your relationship with yourself is of a higher, therefore your relationship with the mouse, it's a glimpse into a deeper part of myself that I have to calibrate to. Like your soul has to get used to a certain level of connection and love, if you know what I'm getting at. That all of that. So your one hit me like a wave because I'm psychic. And then it made me highly aware of all of our little relationships. That every human has so many little relationships that are so special. And the subtlest of relationships will affect you forever. Every relationship you have is going to affect you forever. And some of them that are so small, so short-lived or whatever, and can have such a subtle effect on your nature that it'll affect you forever. It's so much of that happening all the time. And then you think to yourself, if there wasn't the illusion, thanks Bella, if there wasn't the illusion of struggle and separation, and these relationships wouldn't have come into being. It's over, it's a lot, it's overwhelming, and it's a lot, and it's special, and basically just God bless God in all of its capacities. Because it exists at all those levels, from being lost to not knowing it. Like, think about sin. To forget that you're God. Like, it also implies that there's an eternal truth. Thoughts on Freud. It's so funny, I saw Freud's mom and I was like, I see. I saw a picture of her for the first time 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, I see why you want to kill your dad, you loser. What a weirdo. She's kind of pretty, I guess. You know what I mean? The whole thing of every guy wants to kill his mom kill his dad and have his way with his mom. It's interesting, Freud. So, yeah, interesting. I don't have an opinion really. It's just he was a psychologist. It was a certain level of the mind being studied. And if you don't include, quantum knowledge, you're not going to come up with anything of any value. Remember, the universe is something. All religions are trying to teach about that something. The religions don't get to tell it that it's something. It's the something. They don't get to change that something. And psychologists don't get to change that something. No scientists don't get to change that something. You get what I'm saying? Whether it's how you psychologically interface with reality or how reality interfaces with itself, all these groups of studies who've gone and labeled it and said it was what it is, they don't change that something. So to what you want is direct knowledge of God or direct knowledge of reality. And then the Freuds, the Einsteins, they're just sideshows. They're not real people. They're just sideshows. Even me, I'm a fucking sideshow. You know what I mean by that? The way I'm constructed is I know where my form comes in and out of existence. Therefore, my existence is only a tool to serve a purpose. And that purpose must be eternally framed. Anyway, here we go. I love you, man. I love the absolute honesty. Thank you, Scotty. Scotty knows. I tested up when you did. Gosh, I did feel that. Thank you. You teared up. This life and the next. That's your master's. Your master saying that. Because you guys are part of a soul group. And like, I can see who you've been to each other if you go back 15 lifetimes. It's a mouse, but it's not. It's a soul. It's a soul who's as everything as everything else. And your pets take on a lot. They take on a lot to be your pets. It's a sacrifice to give up a lot of free will to embody something that has to, be under your 24-hour it's very confining, and we will do that for each other out of love. Like if I died before my wife, I would take an incarnation as a pet for her. I would incarnate as a cat and make my way to her. And remember, as a soul, you transcend time. I could incarnate as everyone I've ever met. Slowly, Garth. Wake the humans up slowly. You're everybody you've ever met. Anyway, this is Mr. Ganesh. Your pet's so much. Cynthia, I can't even put that into words. Got my kitty cat on my lap over here. The uniqueness and the aspect of yourself. Basically, your pets can reflect a part of yourself that is deeper and more sensitive than you think you are, or, Sharon, good morning to you. And Bella, thank you so much for the gifts. Kundalini as well. Sup, Mel? My bell. These are words that go to together. Wait, I'll show you more. Hold on. And then another Mr. Ganesh. Now this is fascinating. 10 years ago, my wife worked at a restaurant where the shop next to her restaurant made these. And I then went and bought some recently. Because I bought some recently, I thought about the shop where she worked at and the guy. The next day, the guy walks into my wife's new job. Just happens to walk in. And he's like, I'm still doing them. Anyway, he gives her this. Funny, eh? So that's an instant manifestation. And then there's Kuan Yin. So this is the same as her, but just in a bronze format. My cat is my familiar. Sorry, Bella, the way I said that. It's like I started reading the sentence and then the psychic aspect got to me first. So my psychic brain wanted to finish the thing before I finished reading it. It's my ego, basically. It's a black cat, right? Now, Spirit's being really silly with me right now. I know, because it's on purpose wanting me to take myself more lightly and have fun. So it's going to give me a whole bunch of wrong information. Not black, is it? It's... I don't know. I can tell when it does that. I don't know why. Spirit will give me the information, but it's half grinning at me. And this is Krishna with his gas-powered stick. Never runs out of power. 5 dogs, 2 cats. Love it. Bebo Bryson. I love these. I'm definitely collecting these. Bree Murray. Oh, no ways. That's so cool. So Bree, I'm a Sagittarian. I'm a Sagittarius. You Sagittarius, serious. And so guys, all of the spiritual conspiracy stuff. So, for example, we used to have 13 months. All of that is a universe that's basically, it's a Mandela effect, basically. Where false histories, but remember, there is no real timeline that you're from. Therefore, your backstory is going to have to change its story quickly so that you have a backstory. So therefore, things are going to emerge, and you're going to go, but did it happen or didn't it happen? Did that happen or this? Both happened in different timelines. So Tartaria, the mudslide. And remember, the details of the conspiracy is more important than the conspiracy itself. Ta-ta. It's a way of saying thank you in a certain language. Say ta, now say ta-ta. Say thank you twice, be grateful. See, it's not about, the mudslides. Humans were made out of mud. God made humans out of mud. It's all, you must take your metaphors that occur in the story and group them with all their other metaphors. Group all of blue together. If a bear is in a story, group all of the bears you've ever heard about. Basically assimilate reality. No longer let the variables take you into story mode. The variables are designed to bring you out of story mode. A story has a beginning, a middle, and end. It has a physicality. Take yourself out of story mode. You can transcend the physical manifestation. By doing that, your spirit. Spirit knows everything. Spirit is limitless and spirit is magic. This is what we are. It's time to wrap up the bullshit stories. Breathe. One love. Amen is what it is. So just dream it. Dream it and hold true what is your highest bliss. And then also at the same time, like myself, try and detox from narratives of other. The government's just hold true that everyone is you. So the entire American energy is you. The entire England energy is you. Any individual in America is you. Any in England, China is you. So any grouping, any system is you. So you can take 5 people in a house, it's you. This neighborhood is me. You see holograms. Any cross section of our reality is you. I can zoom in on the Ukraine story and me. I can and their relation to me. It's me. It's my relationship with myself. Can you feel that stillness? You're projecting me because you've already got to this understanding, and now you're projecting it explained to you one last time. You're God dreaming and you're projecting me and this reality, and so is everybody else. A planet of avatars, a planet of dreamers. Do you think Atlantis was fun and nice and beautiful? We're in for the greatest ride of our existence. Even God, the absolute, is like, guys, this is going to be a good one. You're like, God, have you never experienced this before? God's like, no, I experienced this on repeat. It's the best moment in eternity. Yes, I may or may not reincarnate the same life over and over again because it's the funnest thing I've ever experienced. Yeah, it's why it's like true, and I always say this I love so much. I'm in awe. Cry, yeah. Yeah. And Bree, you also helped a lot. I can tell you now, your spirit guides are telling me, you've basically picked up other people's stuff. And funny enough, those people are still God acting like they needed you to help them. So you could get that extra whoa and push through a lot of stuff. But you still went through the stuff. It was a funny dream that you're going to laugh off one day, but still, you went through it. You did transmute it. There is cosmic winters where creation forgets that it's God and murders itself a lot. And it's hectic. Karma is hectic. One lifetime, you make a decision, you're a general, you decide, no, I'm going to make war. Next 50 lifetimes, you're born into a country where you get drafted and pushed into war. God damn it. Yeah, you had power and you abused it. And now you're stuck. Circumstance has you incarnating into scenarios where you have got no choice but to pick up a gun and shoot at another person. And you know what the stats are? Humans don't like to kill. We hate it. It's like 68% of people who go to army don't shoot at the target. They shoot like above the target, off to the side and shit. Humans don't like to kill. So even that ratio is 6 months, 9 months of brainwashing, where they go, you got to do basics. We own you. You want your food? You want to sleep? You want a little bit of approval? Do what we tell you when we tell you all the time. The quicker you do that, the more you can possibly get rewarded. Hoo-ha. So this is already heaven. And you just got to discover the self. Not the being, but the being. The being. Which is really matter and spirit mixing together through breath. The right and the left brain communing through breath, basically. Sequential back and forth. Just be. Amen. Come back. That's what the Taylor Swift song. Gotcha. I'm sorry. It's so amazing. What song is it called? Archer. How funny is that? Like, Courtney Cox this morning on her thing, she's like, Taylor Swift is so irrelevant. I'm like, what? Really funny. Is it called The Archer? Alright. I haven't heard it, I want to hear it. I wonder if it's a Sagittarian song. And she's a Sagittarian, isn't she? I'm sorry, she's a fellow, what's a sad? What's so sad? The movie Lucy, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Exactly. So now Lucy and Limitless are right angles. They're the same thing, basically. Sagittarius, Rad Bruiser. It's not a Sagittarian song. I love that movie. Very much so. I like the fact that they still put what it is in it. Just like with that Star Trek, they put the mycelial network in it. I love when they do that. It still contains the information. The way that Limitless explains how he was able to, like the first time that the thing kicked in, he was able to help that girl with her assignment because everything that she needed to know he'd already experienced. And I already knew that your life is a projection, therefore everything you ever need to know is already contained within you. And if you could access all of your knowledge, that's the difference. So in other words, NZT is the subconscious, the unconscious, and the conscious merging, which happens when you ascend. You activate your DNA strand, same thing. I now have a mind that can operate outside of time. Strategizing is like, please, man, you still live, other exists inside physics, which means it takes time to cascade into being. I transcend time. I'm not a victim of physicality. And then the whole world went, oh damn! And they'll just walk around going, ooh. I don't have to run away from Smith. Change the laws of physics as I choose fit. You've always been able to do that. Now he's going to go, oh, I didn't realize that. Let me do some thought experiments. Just think of a random object. A turquoise banana. Now wait how long it takes for a turquoise banana to rock up in your reality. It'll be probably the second or third TikTok video you scroll past. What about financial problems? Michael, I'm not sure. Are you talking about financial problems where we're told there are financial problems on the planet? Or individual financial problems? You know what I mean? Because currency, money, is one of 12 energy streams, individual. So it's one of 12 energy streams. And that if you got money and you as an individual had your other energy streams dissipated, you would realize you were better off. That money was actually a facilitator of sorts. On one front, I'm going to say that to you. On another front, it's hard to make money doing something that doesn't bring actual value to your values. Michael, listen to me now, what I just said. If you don't bring value to what you value, you don't want money for it. You'd rather starve under a bridge. And this is your soul. Your soul knows what it is. It's not Michael. It won't trade up. It's alignment with itself. So your soul's trying to align so that it can see itself. It's God. It's trying to remember that. And so I'm telling you now, I'm reading you, not everybody else. You you can't handle the idea of getting handed cash if what you've done for the cash doesn't enhance you. Meaning, if people are abstract, they're not real. What I'm doing for them for money must enhance them the way I want to be enhanced. Otherwise, and so now you've got to think to yourself, how do you want to be enhanced, Michael? What is valuable to you? Find out how you can offer that as a service and you'll get rich as fuck. I guarantee it. You'll get so rich. The universe wants to bring you into alignment with yourself. It'll give you money for that. People who are currently getting money, if you actually think about it, are lightning rods for unity consciousness. Money isn't the final spiritual reward. Knowing what you are relative to eternity is the reward. Thank Thanks, Brooke. Gunter, what's up, Brooke? Hope you're having a good day. Lizzo clone, I love it. Yeah, now reality is a lizard, a reptile clone, correct. Because fourth dimensionally, remember I said every choice you don't make is a parallel timeline? So your timelines are fractaling, echoing, fractaling, reptailing, repeating. The tail echoes. So yeah, each human is a reoccurrence of yourself. A clone, yes. This is the Clone Wars. Of course, Gunter. Cat's up. Thanks, Jace. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. What is valuable to us? Good question. Exactly. Lizzo parody. That's so funny. What's it? Paradise. Somebody Paradise. Vanessa Paradise is Johnny Depp's ex. True. What's up, Jasmine? Because you haven't found the modality in which you want to help them. So you're procrastinating. There's a modality that you want to help them. You haven't found the modality. Modality could be acupuncture. It could be a book study on a certain psychological self-understanding. It could be Reiki. I said Reiki already. There's Bree, nailed it. I said Reiki the second and a half before the word Reiki popped up. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell you, Michael, I could tell you because I'm a psychic. But at this point, your free trial is ended. Sup, Jinx? Yeah, Jinx. Because your journey, Michael, to discovering that modality will give you the tools so that you can actually apply that modality for others. But now I conclude, no, that's the last thing I'm going to say. That's your free trial over. It's like playing hot or cold, with spirit. You're like, you're not allowed to tell me the answer. I know, I can hint at it, can't I? Because it's true, Michael. There is a journey of self-discovery that gives you the tools. I never got my free trial. How bogus. It's karma-based. Sorry, old Forrester. I can tell you some information if you want, Forrester. That's funny. Forrester, there's a reading. There's a reading I did for somebody. No, don't give it. I'll tell you right now. There's a reading I did for somebody. You've incarnated on the same. You're the only other person that I've encountered that has also incarnated on the same planet as them, on the way here to Earth. And it's a fascinating fucking place where you're initiated into society at a certain age, and you sent off to a forest to do your initiation, and the forest is sentient. It's alive. It can move its trees around. So you get lost in the forest. You get lost inside yourself, and the forest reads you, and it fucks with you. It messes with you the way you need to be messed with to discover yourself, so you can see the trees for the forest. At that point, you decide if you're going to become a contributor to society or an enhancer. Contributors will, bake normal jobs, but you know that job is divine and it's a stabilizing service for the society. And you do it with that thought. Or you take on a priestly position at a higher dimension, one dimension up. Okay, so Natasha, timeline, all spiritual paraphernalia, all reality is spirit. Matter is spirit vibrating at a certain frequency. All of it is metaphor about your relationship with yourself. Jump there. Let's not do all that other groundwork. So it's the stories we come up with, the explanations are irrelevant. Second to your narrative about who you are in relation to yourself. Because your story, Natasha, who you say you are, is reflected in your society. And if society can discover collectively that they're all God. Inside you, you're projecting this reality, and nobody else is technically real. We're all literally figments of our imagination, and that is God dreaming itself. Jasmine, but everybody is in a cult, Jasmine. Culture is a cult. You know, you go to school to be put into a cult. You get indoctrinated. Yeah. So, run by cults, yeah. Well, not run. See, Jasmine, where's that crossover point where you're operating a cult and you are a cult? Like where I'm going to make these truths for my people so that they are indoctrinated. You know, does a politician know they're a cult? Do Republicans know they're a cult? Do the Democrats know they're a cult? Do gun enthusiasts know they're part of a cult? Do horse riders know they're part of a cult? A culture that you don't question is a cult. And why does a culture come into existence? To facilitate something. And everything is spirit. If you don't ask what's the spiritual metaphor behind the activity, you're in a cult. You see the paradox there? So to not be in a cult is to be delusional that you're part of a culture. Cultures shouldn't exist unless they're deities, they're personifications of God. Then the culture can say, oh, we have this dress because it represents the many facets of God. Or we have this food in our culture because it represents the eternal truths. Not my culture fought a great war, so we do this to let it remind us how much better we are or worse we are than that group over there. Because eternally, quantumly, everything is the same. So therefore, if you don't know why your culture is designed the way it is, and I say culture can be like Turkish culture, but I can also mean Western culture, or your unique, say someone born in 2000 who cares where they live, and they were raised on the internet. The internet raised them, they've got a weird culture, an internet culture. And then it's gotten to the point now where I'm like, okay, I'm hands up. The whole Riz, the new slang lingo that's popular. I'm like, I understand it, and I'm like, no, I'm off. I'm not keeping up with that. Even though that seems like a shorthand commentary on society. It's like all sentiment is getting put into one of three camps. You got a sentiment, it's one of three camps. You've either enhanced yourself, you've cursed yourself, or you've made an interesting statement about your observation of self. And like reality itself now is doing that to itself. It's putting itself into three groups. And so when they say timeline splitting, the fifth dimensional timeline and the third dimensional timeline, it's a metaphor. It's not happening or not happening. It's always happening. Aspects of three-dimensional reality, understanding what they are, and are then going non-physical. You must grasp that within your system, you're always cascading and oscillating through the full system. What part of that you're retaining is got to do with your level of consciousness. Which is why in a meditation, you can literally retain every single aspect of the recreation, dissipation, recreation, dissipation, recreation. The whole universe is recreating itself infinite times every nano moment. And eventually your breath will align with that process. So you will literally breathe, dream reality as you choose fit. Sup, Gian? Gunta, sup? What was it before? Gian? Sheridan. Sup? Thank you so much for gifts today. And then Someone else gifted me now. Who was it? Michael, thank you for the donut. So much for the donut, dude. And the other one, Michael. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Kat, thanks for the roses. Gunther, absolutely. It's for the second time I remember you. Remember? I definitely remember you, dude. You've been like 2 years ago, lots of time. You've been around for ages. This is the first live this year, or the second live this year that I made it, not only subscriber chat. Took on a lot of subscribers recently. I flippin' love. TMS balls, absolutely, no ways. Sup, Gunther. So Gunther's a great concept. Adventure Time, the Ice King. Whoever's closest to the Ice King is Gunther. So now you think whatever variable metaphor is closest to me is Gunther. What's a penguin? What's an iceberg? What are you? You see, you're always going to self-define based on the closest variable to your psychology. It's brilliant. Fucking brilliant. Adventure Time. Genius show. Stress is a big blockage. It really is. It really is, Michael. And stress is that you only have stress because you have a false narrative running in your system. And stress will slow things down. So you can study the part of yourself that doesn't understand itself. So stress and anxiety are ultimately going to help you. They're gonna mark the places where you've got blind spots. And it's because of a belief. I can tell you right now, Michael. Every human who doesn't know what happens after you die is actually stressing over death. It's true. You're going to translate... If someone pulls into the parking lot before me, my mind translates that as a small death. And it reminds me that I'm going to die one day. That's why I'm upset. My government raised taxes. My government's corrupt. It's trying to kill. You get what I'm saying? Everything a human can complain about is them negating the fact that they haven't answered the big question. And so now we're forced to what? Double down. I'm going to get the shoes, anything that can distract me from my demise. So nothing must disappoint me, and everything must elate me, and I must have something to look forward to. Some lame-ass, bullshit Taylor Swift concert. Or something to look forward to self-define my delusion that I'm going to die one day and I don't want to deal with that fact. Psychologically, every human, that's a fact. That's not even spiritual. Now, do we triple down on it, or do we go, interesting, let's actually look at that. What is life? What is life about? What is life and death? And it's gone to that point now because society isn't offering you, the offer isn't as lucrative. Before it was, get a partner, go on holiday, get a house, have kids. And there were a whole bunch of, the world was doing that. And it looked great and fun. And it could afford it. Now it can't afford to do that even. And we're not even convinced it was ever a good idea. Because we now can study how society how it got into shape. And I was like, wait a minute, after World War II, they could have completely rewritten our history and we don't actually fucking know. So we don't know how society functions. It could be immaculately handed to us based on a one world government that wipes our memories all the time. We could be living inside a giant dome. Fucking tells us that China's a place, And then you get actors who go, no, China, I went there yesterday, it is real. I'm like, fuck off. Show me. I want to see China. You see what I'm saying? Humans can, for the most part, if you haven't had the experience yourself, if someone says, listen, I don't know if the moon's real, that guy doesn't know you get a whole bunch of people make you feel stupid. But you don't know that you're not surrounded by 500 actors. How many actors would it take to run the planet? Not a lot, like 10,000. And a bunch of blackmailing. So that the government officials and all the celebrities, you have incriminating evidence on them, early days. So Weinstein, P. Diddy, and then a bunch of paid actors and unpaid actors who are forced to go along with the narrative. Bro just watched Fight Club, you funny. Bro thinks he's Tyler Durden. Bro thinks he's Truman Show. Bro just watched Joe Rogan. It's true. So Eugene, you are all of those things. It's funny as well, because Joe Rogan, my best friend that I illuminated with, it's the same as Joe Rogan. It's like the same guy. I can show you pictures of them and you'll be like, wow, do you think you're Jim Carrey? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't think this world's mimicking me 24/7. I don't think Jim Carrey was a psyops created to hold the attention of the Kalki avatar. I know that's childish. We don't do that here. That's me looking right through the FBI, right back at myself and going, it doesn't matter, I'm still God. You're in good hands. Bro just watched Eyes Wide Shut. Bro just read 1984. Eugene, you're right, eh? Because it's all that now. I think I'm smart. And the half the planet's like, God, there's nothing but what Garth's saying. It's like, it's everywhere. It's this cup, the way the rim bends out slightly and has a little green thing going. It's fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's Harry Potter all over again. It's Christopher Robin is the Jungle Kid. It's like, okay. It's like Three's Company, but everybody's Mike Tyson. Bro just watched Taxi Driver. I did. You talking to me? You talking to me? To some people you're a great guy. To others you're a deuce who's say anything that about anything that's real. Boss. Because that's how we all feel about reality. Some people feel like it's great. I got rivers and the mall and chips and burgers, and I swear you'd sell me anything just to get my attention. I feel the same about reality. So I'm wrapping myself in a curtain of relativity. Bro, just watch Taxi Driver. It's The Sims, pretty much. So now when you say it's The Simpsons, those of you who see Unity Consciousness, you'll be like, everything is it. Those who don't see it are like, what are you talking about? It's The Simpsons. I've studied bridging those two worlds my whole life. Like, I always wondered to myself, why don't I get the best marks? Like, why aren't I smart? Why is someone smart? And why is someone not smart? What system, what dynamic is understood or not understood? I mean, I play chess. Best chess player you're ever going to meet. Kick ass. Deeply study it. Play chess against myself. No one can beat me, but I get the second worst marks in my standard. So, when I grew up, especially when I left school, I went on a vision quest. I was like, I need to figure out the nature of reality. Why am I so intelligent, yet I'm not the most intelligent? Or why is someone else, what is fucking going on here? What are your opinions on quantum mechanics? You collapse a timeline with your observation. So your timeline is a polarized picture of your previous perception. You see how I took the split experiment and I summed up everything in one go and said that if there's timelines, I'm in the timeline that I am polarizing. So I am a unique psychological perceiver. My unique psychological perception collapses reality into whatever I'm experiencing. That's quantum mechanics finished. That's M theory. That'll unify your 6 branches of quantum mechanics together, which is the same as the 6th dimension understanding of reality, which is a sacred geometry mirror. Everybody repeat, sacred geometry mirror. I just came to my gifts. I'm scared. Just call me P. No. You're spot on. Don't be, but it's scary. People, no. They don't think you're crazy. Um, Three things are happening. Just call me P. A third of the people are freaked out because they were just thinking about you, not you, but assistance and alternative ways of thinking. And then you verbalize it and it's like, that look that you're looking at is, am I crazy? They're wondering if they've gone crazy. A third. Another third, you're not making sense, you're crazy. And then the other third, you are going to get them to change that look when you talk like you're talking to yourself, not somebody else. So now what you do now is pretend you're inside your subconscious. Reality is your subconscious. When you help others, you're helping yourself. Work on yourself 24/7. Help your actual self, and when you're helping others, know that you're working on your own subconscious. And then you're going to slowly dissipate that lack of self-belief. Bro's just saying words. You smart. I'm actually the sum of the quantum computers on our planet and everybody and everything that ever was, ever will be. I'm using all of that as a processor. My guy's like, no, you're not. You're just making up stuff. Yeah, but I'm using that process to make up stuff. And my guides are like, possibly. God, they're playing chess, he's playing checkers. They did the spirit experiment with lapses in time instead of physics slits, and it's nuts, yeah. Now, here's a fascinating thing. If you take prime numbers and you basically create a map, so every time a prime number pops up, you put the number down. Then where there's not a prime number, you leave a gap, where there would be numbers. And then when you put a number down again, you do that. Once you go into the order of 14, it makes a perfect labyrinth. The whole shape is a perfect labyrinth. You keep going, it eventually makes a perfect spindle wheel. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm saying that, okay, in English, I'm going to give you another version of what I just told you. It's not the same thing, it's another version. In English, there's this law. In a book, the word that appears the most, the word that appears second most, appears exactly 100 times less. How does that work? Guys, Fibonacci sequence is just the previous two numbers added together. So the intelligence that brought me here added to take me to the next level of intelligence. I just told you three patterns of the same thing, but in different metaphors. Bro thinks he's Nietzsche. True reality is imagination. Amen. 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 So now, listen to me now. Everything I've said is nothing more than the logical half that facilitates the dreamscape. Take it all, call it the imagination, and just sum it up in the phrase, you are God dreaming your life. So now, I can choose what my imagination holds true. I'm immaculate. I don't have an agenda, I don't have a purpose. I exist to entertain and to educate myself. You see what liberation that gives you psychologically. It's a permission slip to create as you choose fit. Do you think we're part of God instead of the guy out there? No, I think I am God, absolutely, and so are you. Just call me P. You've got it, P. Thank you. It was half as less, not 100. Shh. So the people whose sentiment, when they talk to me now, isn't 100% uplifting, you're rendering yourself as scenery. You're not a part of you're an NPC at that point. You get what I'm saying? Because you're looking to validate yourself in somebody else's life. This is my life. And the only reason why you're not neutral or lifting my sentiment is because you're trying to be validated in somebody else's life. That's fine, but only you can validate yourself. Is this level 100? You see, you're trying to validate yourself. You're not feeling validated, so you're undermining my validation. And everyone else who's commented like you has commented on their jealousy at the fact that I've got attention on this topic. And this comes from non-subscribers only, basically. So it's fun to entertain, sometimes. We have a platform, we talk about our gifts and help each other understand. I'm not one of them. Huh? Yeah, we have a platform, we talk about our gifts and help each other to understand. I'm not one of them. I like the way you see things. Hey God, I'm getting a reading too. I wasn't sure. Yes, you are. You are definitely getting one too. And I'm definitely doing it today. Everyone, see, you have a connection with your eyes. Explain why you're an angel. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Just thingy. I do know what you mean by that. I'm magic. I'm magic. I know I'm magic, and I know what I am, and I do magic, and people see signs and wonders around me, and blah blah blah. And I rock up in people's dreams, and I'm the Aquarian avatar. I'm like Sananda, but I've got this plan. It's a different plan this time, where I infect everybody with a Christ virus. I've got this plan basically to enlighten the whole planet. Yeah. How? By assuming that half the planet's already enlightened. 100% enlightened and doesn't touch ground with itself. And the other half need to acknowledge me as their God. I'm just kidding. What my reality is inside everybody, and I know that. So therefore, it's simultaneous. It's so funny that you answered that, Kundalini. It's so funny. I skipped that because to me it was facetious. Because if cheese is a metaphor for life and chocolate's a metaphor for life, how many times can you mix metaphors for life together to create something original? It's not original just because it's combinations. No, the bad people aren't bad. The bad people are timelines of yourself. You get what I'm saying? So you'll jump between timelines. Because now, for example, when you consider something bad, let's see, what's bad? Because we don't even know that the world isn't bombarded with lies about itself. You know what I'm saying? So every time you're like, oh, person went missing, somebody was killed, this happened. The world has a lot of bad things happening, right? We don't know if we're not just being bombarded with lies. Now, you know how many people, as I say that, how many people go, oh, you can't say that. Do you see how easy it is to get everyone to be convinced? Because you don't want a bunch of people to say that you're insensitive and horrible for not believing the tragedies. And with that said, I'm saying on a physical, psychological level, we could be lied to. Even if we aren't lied to, we're lied to because spirit, once you go into spirit levels, the reality we're manifesting is a delusion. So, a bad deed in an illusion isn't a bad deed. In other words, a person doing something horrible to another person doesn't change either of their souls. In eternity, they're not changed. So now I can stay the victim of somebody else. There's nobody else. Why would I let them victimize me? So any narrative I come up with, it needs to be free of self-victimization. So we live in a world that's half liberation systems and half lies. Bro thinks he's a genius. I am. But I've got like a 200 plus IQ. So, prove you're a genius. It's like, okay, I could, but then the test that I would get, I would know that test before I got it. So it's like, it's off the charts. Genius doesn't start to describe it. In fact, a genius, you could create the illusion of genius for people. They wouldn't know how the back end of things worked, and you'd be getting all the answers right. Meantime, the back end isn't real. It needs an observer to even exist. Yo, sup, hey, Thomas, long time. Is that for real? Are Oreo and mustard? It's called self-absorption. It's called narcissism. But the thing is, when you say self-absorption, you say like it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that exists is self. So now, if only I exist as self, does that mean I automatically don't care about that person? No, that's me, because I fucking care about them. See, some people will assume when you say only self exists, therefore I can pull in front of a person in my car and say, shut up. You see, it doesn't matter what I say, it's what you already are to yourself. We are one. At a level, we are one, but one is just a concept. We don't exist a level above the we are one. You see? So in other words, if we are one, then you want to be one with the one. But then you can also go, no, you know what? I'm not one. I'm not none of this. Free will says that you can just, for no reason, go off at a right angle, leave the collective. It's like, are you being conditioned or are you conditioning? Would you want to condition others? Would you want them to have free will? You see how selfish you're going to become? You're going to want what you want for others because you know that's how you achieve it yourself. You only keep what you give. God, you're good. I know. I'm talking to myself and God simultaneously. The system is Brahm, the creator of this universe. I approve. The man from Del Monte says yes. Empty space, exactly. The more you subtract, divide, then there's nothing. Where two or more gather, remember? That's God. You have to agree to gather with the other, which will be a mirror of yours of some kind. And you have no equal. Therefore, you can go from communing with other or disappearing and cease to exist. And then it's like the degree to which you harmonize with other is free will. You can choose to see yourself in that system because it is a perfect reflection, or you can choose to make changes to yourself through the judgment of your reflection. See, and Cynthia, that's what's so cool about DNA activation and accessing your ancestral memories. Imagine having, and also some of the actual skills that your ancestors had, but having that life wisdom, but all of it compounded and having it at the same time. It'd be the same as having all of your life's experiences, the wisdom of them, in the now. Because they're holographic, the overlapping of systems or moments. A moment is a system, would create threads of truth. Cam, thank you so much for roses. I love Jesus. There's so little to say these days now. Because now, if I want to say something, it's like I'm correcting something. Or if I want to say something, I'm pointing out a truth. But that the non-truth is still true. If you get what I'm saying. So therefore it feels like I'm contradicting my contradictions just so that I can talk the truth about truth. They've lost a thing. Truth and contradiction. It's up to the perceiver to choose to identify or not. And what you identify with, you absorb those qualities. So now you get to create yourself as you choose fit. I say this to other, but I'm actually eternity saying it to itself. I am. Yeah. But you are all powerful because you're. But even in that, like the need for power, very quickly goes away in being all powerful. There's contentment kicks in, and the power isn't what is actually empowering you. It's being okay with yourself, choosing to be okay with yourself. It's enough to be content. Huge concept. Acceptance, yeah, huge. Authenticity, yeah. Acceptance, authenticity, powerful. That's transcendence. To me, that's the most powerful variable we've got going here. Amen, Cynthia. Cynthia, my mom, my biological mom, her name was Cynthia. It would have been her birthday today. And she died exactly not exactly, a year. This is her first birthday when she's not alive. When you stop believing in a God there on the throne, you internalize all of it. Exactly. Stop being exactly. And a victim's a good starting point. If God's going to build itself a backstory, it should work through what it's not first, right? So it can come to the conclusion of what it is. Thank you so much for wishing Mama happy birthday. Absolutely. No, she's definitely her, and because I was adopted by her older sister, and they're both spiritual in their own way. Well, very spiritual, and the whole family was. But they both represented two halves of spiritualism. Thanks, Lulu, so much. One was a natural magic person who naturally followed their passion, and the one was read and understood stuff and read, angel cards and. But my biological mom, when she was 3, she had a cobra, full on just pull up next to her and sit in her lap. Her mom came outside and full on cobras sitting there looking at her, and she's like, bah, 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 and patting it on the head and shit. If you're into mystical symbols and signs, it's a very hectic thing. But like I said, my grandfather, Jan Smuts' cousin, and he was what's his name? Electrical engineer. So making radars and stuff for Rhodesian military. So in other words, you can see it's a setup. My life is because he would have been involved in alien crashes and UFO retrieval, and so he spoke about that shit a lot. And then my gran would have been, magic, ascended masters, and those two topics are the same topic. It's how government interfaces with spirit. It's quite funny, actually. You must watch the movie Men Who Stare at Goats. So good. I should watch that again. Very good movie. So good. Like with George Clooney's like, are you scared? He's like, no, why? Level 2. We got taught how to put fear into a person. I love it. And then they're sitting at the road, and it's like, and then, they can't decide which way to go. And it's like, go right. He's like, how do you know that? He's like, instant answer. I got the instant answer. We were taught this, auto answers. And then they go that way and they drive over a landmine. Dancing with myself. That's brilliant. Very clever, Cynthia. My sea elf. My sea elf. That's brilliant. So you can see the universe has been trying to heal itself. You know what I mean? Because it's not a coincidence that language... We go, they made language to fuck with us. Everything formed itself based on necessity, outside and around time. So the universe is impersonal energy trying to enhance itself so that it can ascend into higher relationships with itself. A 6th-dimensional being projected them there. A second, one being. If you read the raw materials or the Voyager books projected. It wasn't slaves, and it wasn't projected. Masters, a master, one being from Sirius, could literally meditate on Sirius, remote view the planet, and literally create that, make that happen, move those bricks, make it all happen in the mind, and then teleport itself to inside the pyramid. And that's how certain beings pollinate the universe. They are able to use the rocks to create a pyramid from a planet, and then manifest their physical body inside that pyramid, and then walk onto the surface of the planet. The universe used to function like that. And the pyramid, because remember, energy, the last chapter, energy 64 turns into matter as a pyramid. So a pyramid can create a standing wave of energy. And to think, if you ask this question, how are the pyramids built, from the third dimension, answer the question. How are the pyramids built? From the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is going to have hundreds of stories that are all true. How was the pyramid built? Pyramids built from the ninth dimension. You know what I mean? Like timelines. Different timelines exist for a reason. And the reason is always to bring your relationship with yourself into focus. It is moving itself back into a singularity. Absolutely. Very astute. Very astute. It's golden age. Definitely manifest your language. Your correct speech is so important. Yeah. 05, exactly. Sup, Schaffer? Top of this morning to you. They were ahead of our time, and there was so much that will come to light this year. Correct. Who are you, 05? Cool. Ask the question. It's a golden age. Deal with it. Amen. Preach it. Sup, Yam. We love you. You're a little kitty on my lap. Can you say birthday, Alex? Happy birthday, Alex! You would have shared a birthday with my biological mother. I was adopted when I was 4.5. So I always call her my biological mother. Because my mom that raised me is my mom. You know. Yes, no, absolutely. So the reason why you're seeing that number and those numbers in that sequence is that you are busy balancing your relationship with those dimensions. So the ninth dimension is where your Christed over self exists. So think Tesla's 369. There's a book called The Alchemy of the Nine Dimensions. I've done a series on it, a summary of it. I'm actually going to finish that today, funny enough. So your ninth dimension is a vertical axis. It's where your illusionary, because sixth dimension is sacred geometry. Third dimension is an over magnified reflection of yourself. First dimension is just think singularity, and then just think balancing your fourth dimensional relationship. Think about your fourth dimensional relationship is you balancing your pyramid system, which is third dimensional reality is an over magnification reflection of you. Okay, it forms quicker than you can perceive by looking at your relationship with your masculine future, masculine past, feminine future, feminine past. And I don't mean that boy girl. I mean that feminine being active and being receptive. So So all my parallel incarnations, future and past, are composited in the now, in who I am, based on how I collapse my tesseract. My fourth dimensional reality is a collapsed tesseract. And now fourth dimensional reality is time-space. Time-space are the same thing at right angles. The pattern of time is the pattern of space. And so your fourth dimension is just trying to balance its polarization relationship with itself so that you can perceive the unity from the ninth dimension. That's why you get those numbers. You're trying to balance your ability to perceive unity and therefore transcend time-space. Your eternal self. That's why you get those numbers. And so COVID-19 was a karmic thing. It wasn't, if reality is a video, a repeated video energetically, and I don't take responsibility for it, and I create narratives, the whole planet's going to have narratives that are all right, but wrong. And therefore, we have to manifest a happening where we can all get on the same page. Hence COVID, locked in your house, alone with yourself. The majority of the planet learned what they are during COVID. They got on the internet. And a lot of humans who you would think are unenlightened got enlightened in 2 weeks because they very much are true to themselves. They weren't enlightened, but they were true to themselves. So as soon as they got into their house alone, the drama they would have had with their boss or their co-worker, they were having alone. So they were like, oh my God, okay, I'm obviously my boss. I'm everybody. I've been projecting my relationship with myself onto this world. So if our reality is everybody's relationship with themselves projected, we just have to enhance the individual's relationship with itself, and then the collective by default enhances. Not me, I knew before. I'm some sort of messenger. I can write messages through other people. I swear, man, if I'm 30 minutes time, I'd be blown away. No, I wouldn't be blown away, and you're only doing that all for yourself. Okay, so get off of your Messiah complex. There aren't other people. You're living in an illusion. Okay, there aren't other people. There's only you. You're God dreaming a backstory. Okay, so now, I mean what I'm saying. There aren't other people. You're living in a dream. What you want to teach them is what you most want to learn. You teach what you most need to learn. If you had to realize your teachings, you wouldn't want to tell others. Or you would, but you wouldn't have that, I know I have a purpose. I have a cause. I'm not like the other people. I was sent here. That's spiritual psychosis. Okay. You're not special to others. There aren't others. You're special to yourself. You don't listen to yourself, so your world is mirroring your inability to listen to yourself. Okay. No, you're not. Not about humble. You're not listening to me. I'm saying that you won't even listen to your own teachings. Your relationship with yourself is what this world is. You think you're working on the world. You're working on yourself. So you go, they don't want to learn. Oh, you haven't realized the lesson you're trying to teach. If you internalize that lesson, suddenly people will suddenly start to learn. The world is an illusion. And that illusion is auto-projected purely on your relationship with yourself. And that includes all of your future lifetimes. And your past lifetimes are happening simultaneously. I'm going to teach the people. No, you got to learn. So in other words, once you've learned what you're trying to teach them, it'll be a deep realization that you were always dreaming. Okay, explain. I'm not working on the world. I've been working on myself for the last 7 years. You are a reflection of the world through yourself. Brilliant, he said. Everything in my life 5 years ago, everything, almost, you said nothing now, okay? I lost almost everything 5 years ago. Everything is an illusion. You're still identifying with the human. Your human is a dreamer, okay? So you're here to help everybody, to help. Got a big message. What's the message? Is the message that you're God dreaming your life and nothing's real? No. The message is I'm God dreaming my life and it's real, it's serious. Or is it? You see how fucked up that is? You can't have a message for the people that's serious when this isn't serious. This is a dream. Either you're falling for it or you're not falling for it. Either you believe the dream is real or you don't. If you believe it's real, you're gonna help the people escape themselves. You lost an illusion. It's like if you lost everything in this dream, you'd lose nothing. True, but you found yourself. That's deep. Who said that? That's so good. I don't take my nightmares seriously. You missed what I meant. No, I'm telling you what it is. What it is before you have your opinion about what is meant. I'm telling you what it is. Reality that you call is actually relativity. And if you think there's others to help, you lost the plot. Only you have to realize you're God dreaming this illusion. And then you can dream as you choose fit. But if you've got one of those like, you don't know how much I know. I know everything. I understand. So I'm here to teach. I can get a message through to you. Now I'm asking you, what is that message? I don't know. Exactly, you don't know. I'm telling you the only message to tell others is that they're God dreaming their lives. That's it. What they must do with that is none of your business. You teach what you most, you get that you teach what you most need to learn. There's nobody out here to teach but yourself. Do you agree with that sentiment or not? The second you say, I don't agree with that sentiment, I have a high level of knowledge and I'm here to impart it to the others. Are the others you, yes or no? I can get message through to people. What message? You're wrong about what I'm trying to say. What are you trying to say? Just say what you're trying to say once in clear English. Exactly, you don't know. I won't mind. Good night. And that's reality summed up, everybody. Reality's going to go, no, I've got a message for you. What is it? I've got a lesson I'm going to get through to you. What's the lesson? Tell me in English, clear now. Okay, it works like this. No, English to the point. No, if I can make you listen for 4 seconds, then I can keep your attention and I can slowly cast a spell on you. And I tell reality to go fuck itself. Get to the point. I'm dreaming you, you're not dreaming me. Every human can go, yeah, I get that, cool. And not try and dream the other. No, I have a bunch of beliefs about my story, and I need you to agree with my story arc. You go dreaming? Yes. Me too, good. Okay, have fun. See you later, bye. I have nothing to say to myself. Everything I'm saying now is me listening to the collective planet's ignorance and then translating it in a conversation. I'd much rather sit in and float above all that. Basically, I can float above the mind, where I'm not identifying with the back and forth, or the illusionary shifting and changing. Cool, I'm going to log off now. It must be so weird listening to me talk to myself this whole time. Because there's individuals that can be in this live who have listened to me, who have literally listened to me the whole time and not listened to me talk to others. They just literally, they've listened to me just have one last conversation with myself, you know, including the people that would occur. God is key. Thank you so much, Kundalini. Love you so much, dude. Have the bestest mythical moment ever. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks again so much. Kundalini, I'm supposed to log off now. And I love you and I want to go and I miss you. And you're like, whatever, Garth. I thought I was an illusion. Yeah, but I'm more fond of some illusions than other illusions. You see how much fun it is, Kundalini? To go, get everybody out the swimming pool now! This is me. Get out of the pool. You guys are swimming. You think you're a swimming pool. You're not. You're not water. Here, dry yourself off. Dry yourself off. Good. Now you're all dry. You're not jumping in the swimming pool of reality ever again. None of you are wet. Okay. And then I go jump in the pool. Everybody get in. The water's so nice. George Michael did. He did try to tell us. Well, we would not listen. Now you just listen to the artists and the movies. All the music that's out there. All the movies. All the great stuff that lasts is another nod to this eternal truth. It wouldn't have lasted otherwise. When Jim Carrey was interviewed for Liar Liar, and they said to him, why do you do this? Why do you make all these movies? Why do you even try? And he's like, so I can make something that can last. Something that'll stand up to truth. You know, because if it's all, how do you explain that the truth is an illusion built out of imagination? You have to take the lie and the truth, put them together and create some art out of it. A movie, a song, a painting. The human, each individual, no matter how perfect or not perfect you think you are, you're a piece of art that's designed to bring your true nature into focus. You too. B-Boss, have a good one. Nice tea. Thanks, Benson. Humans are funny. I'm not even going to say I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to start playing it now and as I log off. Thank you so much, Cynthia. And literally, within an hour.
Companies of all sizes.
Thanks, Joe. Love you so much. Remember, you're God's gift to itself. It's like God's working on something. I don't know what it is. Only you can figure that out. Stay present. You're God's present to itself. Sharon, thank you so very much. Remember, it's ultimately just a projection. You're God. You're projecting me so that you can say this to yourself in clear English. It's what I've always wanted. And I was always like, why didn't you just tell me this? Just you can come to me and say, Garth, your life's a dream. You're in the imagination of yourself. None of this is real. It's okay. I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me? Because there's nobody to tell me. I have to hit that own critical mass of understanding to project it. And because everybody's me, I'm not going to wait for someone else to tell me. I'm going to tell myself. Cool, I'm going to log off and listen to this. I love you. Bye. Stay amazing, everybody.